MortgageSquares.com.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Geis. I tried everything to control my anxiety. I mean, everything. Nothing worked. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't run my business. Anxiety paralyzed me, aging me terribly. I heard about Mark Patrick anxiety seminars from friends that were successful at Mark Patrick's weight loss and stop smoking seminars. I wasn't skeptical at all because my friends bragged about how easy they stopped smoking with Mark and how easy it was to lose weight. I went to Mark Patrick anxiety seminar, and now I always hear Mark's voice in my head. I really love that. My anxiety is gone. I can sleep. I have patience. My life is back. In fact, I'm Supergirl again. I can't believe I just said that. That's right. That's me. I'm Supergirl. Thank you, Mark Patrick Seminars.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and eliminate unwanted anxiety, stress, negative thinking, even panic attacks. The End Anxiety, Stop Smoking, and Weight Loss with Hypnosis seminars will be Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online. Live with America's hypnotist, Mark Patrick, in the comfort and safety of your living room. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
There's always a locally owned car star near you, on your way to work or on your way home, and all those trips in between. CarStar offers comprehensive auto body repair services, from minor dents and dings to repairing your accident damage. Whether you've had an accident, tangled with Mother Nature, or want to freshen up your car's look. With contact-free services including touch-free estimates and pickup and delivery options. Call 1-800-CARSTAR. CarStar, the auto body repair experts.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. We're a month into 2021. Mortgage interest rates are still sitting at these all-time lows, but we don't know how much longer that will last. Don't miss your opportunity to lock a rate in the twos. You could be saving hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. Start saving now before it's too late. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Making sure you have the very best when it comes to IT tech support in your corner is a really important thing to protect your business. And also making sure you're working with somebody who's affordable, that you can, make sure that you can be able to retain them so that you can continue to protect your business. Also, very important. You need to reach out to Forensic IT today and find out how they can help you. Don't play the risky game of hoping that if something crashes, if an application goes down, if you lose your information and you don't know how to back up your database, that you're going to have the experts behind there who have set you up and who have protected you, your business, your clients, your customers, all of it. 314-677-3950. That's 314-677-3950. Forensic IT is an expert IT company serving both sides of the river here in St. Louis. They are able to do remote service. They can do on-site support as well. If you need IT for your business, for your small business, for your nonprofit, Forensic IT is excited to help you, and we're grateful to have them as partners here on the Annie Frey Show. 314-677-3950, forensicit.com.
Censorship happens elsewhere. This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. You can stream the station at radio.com anytime or get the free radio.com app for your phone. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Got a weird question for you. If somebody gives you money that's supposed to be to help you out through a tough time, and then they come back and they say, oops, I didn't mean to give you that much, but it's their mistake and not your mistake. Do you owe them back the money?
No. I think so.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, because apparently this happened, and we're going to talk about this at about 12:25 or so. The state of Missouri overpaid $150 million in unemployment last year because of the COVID stuff. 150 million, over 45,000 people in Missouri got paid more than what the law and the formula said they were supposed to. The average is like $4,000. And so all these people who didn't do anything wrong are getting a notice that said, oops, we made a mistake. We need that money back from you. For most people, it's about $4,000. And by the way, if you don't pay us back, we're going to garnish your wages and take you to court.
I'm keeping the money. I'm like, bye.
So now there's several lawmakers, and hopefully Representative Rachel Prouty has told us that if she's not on the floor, they're debating some more controversial stuff right now, but if she's available, she's going to give us her perspective at around 12:25. And of course, I want to know what everybody thinks about that. By the way, I'm not Annie Frey. Yeah, I'm Mike Ferguson, obviously.
Hi, Mike.
So, hi, good to be back. And so I think it's a fascinating question, because if your bank makes a mistake and overpays you, you got to pay it back. And they can come get you for it. The government made a mistake here. It's still taxpayer money, but the folks who needed the unemployment didn't do anything wrong. So I think it's
especially if you're not paying really close attention, you probably didn't know that you were being overpaid either.
Right.
So you weren't budgeting for like, okay, I got this right now, but at some point they're going to ask for it back.
Yeah.
It puts you in a pretty tough spot.
Right. You just were happy to get something because your business shut down the hours, or your business went out of business, or you got furloughed, or whatever the case is. You were just happy to get by and be able to pay the rent or the mortgage and put some food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's, of course, obviously Republican and Democrat. They're now kind of racing to say, oh, we got to fix this so that we don't go charge people back on this. But the law is pretty clear. The director of the Department of Labor says the law is clear. You got to pay this back. You should not have received the money, but you got to pay this back.
I hate to say it, but I agree. I do think they should have to pay it back. I just think that there should be a ton of grace because it wasn't their mistake. And we're talking like, here, have the next 10 years to pay this back.
Yeah.
But you do have to pay it back.
And the Department of Labor says they'll work with you. They'll create a repayment plan for you.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
Okay.
I mean, you look at somebody. I mean, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch article. I read like 3 or 4 articles on this. There's a St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Channel 2's article on this. Obviously, the ones here, and one of them, I don't remember which one, had an example of a woman who was she's a bus driver. Well, there's no school right now. So there's nobody to drive around for school buses. And she says, they're telling me they're going to garnish my wages. They want me to pay back $100 or $200 a month. But hey, $100 a month may not be a big deal to me and my wife. There's a lot of people right now, the $100 a month is a big deal.
That haven't been working since March, or that can't get on unemployment, or their hours went down, or they got taken off of full-time back to part-time. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff happening right now that if I didn't have a job and I got paid that type of money, I would be really questioning whether this was, but you did say it's the law. It is.
That's what the law says. So lawmakers are saying we need to change the law or make an exemption or carve something out. And so they're working on that right now. By the way, the number here is 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. I mean, you can do the token thing and say, okay, I'll pay you $5 a month for the next, 15 years or whatever the case is. But I doubt they're going to go for that. But I think what's really ticking off a lot of people is they didn't do anything wrong. This is the government's mistake. Not the government bureaucrats or government processes would ever make a mistake when it comes to money.
Of course,
I would never.
Of course not.
Argue that.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, it's like one of those where you're dealing with a real life example, and so you have to have real life solutions to it. But once again, you trust the government with money. And what do you think you're going to get? I mean, it's always what happens. So we should have an agency within the government that just is ready for these issues that always happen in every single state and every single branch of the federal government.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So we've got a lot of people have some thoughts on this. By the way, if you're one of those people who received one of those notices in particular, I want to hear from all of you, but I really want to hear from you. All right, let's start this off. We got Ken up first. Hey, Ken, you're on the air.
Yeah, I've drawn unemployment before, and you have an idea of what you're getting, and they knew they were getting that extra $600 a week, and when they got more than they were supposed to, you can't tell me these people didn't know that. It's taxpayers' money, and they should have to pay it back.
Okay, I'm going to disagree on one part and agree on another. I think, Ken, that there probably are people who just were happy the money was in there. They probably didn't look at it, but I do agree it is taxpayer money, and that's where it gets real complicated.
I mean, you know, as a taxpayer, that wasn't Missouri taxpayers' money. That was federal taxpayers' money. So, I mean, true. I understand it's a hard time, but they honestly owe it back.
Okay.
I mean, if that's the case, I was a worker that had to stay working. Where's my $7,200 that I should have got?
Hey, that's a fair
because
point.
I wasn't able to go on unemployment.
All right, so we got one vote for got to pay it back. Ken, appreciate you kicking that one off. Let's go to Tom up next. Hey, Tom, you are on the air. Should the people who receive the money have to pay it back?
Definitely. And the reason I say that is because as a individual that pays those taxes, and even as a business owner that pays in to the unemployment compensation fund, just because it was a mistake, I'm still getting the payment having to be made. And so if they want to argue the fact that they shouldn't have to pay it back, then I, as a business owner and an individual taxpayer, will argue and have issue with it from a court standpoint, saying you wasted my money and spent it in a manner that you shouldn't have if you don't get it back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. You got it. Hey, Tom, there's a lot of people have some real strong thoughts on this. I'm really hope Representative Prouty is available to talk about this. And she told me that if she can get away from the House floor, that we'll get her perspective, because she's one of those. And remember, it's not just Democrat or Republican. There are representatives and senators from both parties who are kind of rushing to try to, I'm going to use air quotes here, fix it, because this does affect literally 45,000 Missourians.
Goodness.
On this. I mean, that's a probably some little tiny mistake, Ryan, in some computer code that did this, but that affects a lot of people.
I question whether everybody knew it too, because if this was your normal paycheck, you've been working a job for 3 years and all of a sudden your paycheck goes up by a couple $100 a month, you'll probably notice. But this was all done so quickly, and a lot of people jumped into that pool and didn't really know what they were jumping into. I mean, this has been a mess. And so a lot of people didn't know what they were getting. They might not have known that they were being overpaid. So I do think there should be grace, but I do think they have to pay it back.
Yeah, so because we're looking at like that moral question, it wasn't yours, you should give it back. But at the same time, we've got the moral question of government caused most of these layoffs with their shutdowns and everything. In my opinion, you can blame COVID. I blame government. So doesn't government have a responsibility to help these people out? And if government, sent you $4,000 too much over the course of a year or so, well, that's their fault, not yours.
I would struggle to hear anybody make the argument that they shouldn't have to pay it back who doesn't also believe that this money is just sort of like that. It's just government money. It's just free money.
Sure. It's just free.
People who believe that probably do think that it should be kept because who cares? It's just this like nebulous money that comes from nowhere. I think anybody who understands where it comes from is going to go, nah, that's not the way it works.
All right, let's see what Kathy has to say about this. Kathy, you are up next. What do you think?
Well, so I think that I did get a notice, and I have made several attempts trying to reach the Department of Labor. It's almost impossible to get through to them. If I owe it, I will pay it back, but I would like someone to talk to me, show me where the mistake came in, because my unemployment amount changed a couple of times. It went up, it went down. I just want to see where the problem happened. But if I owe it, I owe it, and I'm happy to pay it back. But because there was so much confusion, I really don't have confidence that it is accurate or it isn't accurate. And that's what I would like to find out.
Kathy, did they threaten, like with you, did you get that we're going to garnish your wage threat in your notice?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I was surprised to hear that today.
Yeah, because I've seen that in multiple reports. Okay. Hey, Kathy, appreciate that perspective on that. Now, that's interesting. The first person who called in and says, I actually got one of those notices. She's so far the first vote to say, no, yeah, I should have to pay it back. We should have to pay it back.
Well, that she brings up another really good point too, which is, well, if they've messed up on the front end, how do I know they're not messing up on what I owe them back?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see full accountability here, because if I can see, okay, this is what we overpaid, this is exactly how it happened, I'm fine paying it back. But if they're messing up, then how do I know they're not messing up now?
Yeah, this definitely created a very sticky situation that's going to probably be going on for a long time. I know that people want to resolve this quickly, but when it comes to other people's money, this is going to take a while.
Right, because as a couple people, and Ryan, the way you've pointed this out as well, we are really talking about, in the larger sense, all of our money. And I understand it's been borrowed. We're paying interest on this, and it is not free money. So there is that aspect of it as well, which is completely legit. That's the thing, is there are 3 or 4 really good, solid, completely true points being made that just affect people in completely different ways. All right. We got time for another caller. So here, let's talk to John here. Hey, John, you are up next. You're on the air. What do you think?
Well, I was a claims specialist for the state of Missouri for almost 3 years during the federal extension period during Obama. And a couple of points is that they do get a letter in the mail that specifically states how much they are going to receive. And if they get paid and they realize, they should realize they're getting overpaid. And then the other thing is that one of your callers made the point that it's the employees are the ones paying into the unemployment tax, but that's not actually true. It's the employers in the state of Missouri that are paying into the unemployment tax.
Oh, my paycheck always has a deduction for that on there as well.
Both.
Yeah, I think it's the employee and the employer, I think, match it, don't they?
No, not in Missouri. Where do you work in Missouri?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had that deduction on there when I was on a payroll system. But John, let me ask this real quick though. When it comes to, they got to know saying how much they're going to get over the past year, we've had, as Kathy was saying, the benefits went up, they went down because Congress would debate and argue over, additional unemployment benefits. Then they would expire. Then they did it a little bit again. So it is reasonable to say this got really confusing. They went up because, well, I heard on the news, they were saying they were going to add an additional unemployment benefit. And then it went down because it expired. So it can get really confusing, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree, but they do get letters in the mail every time stuff like that happens. And that was the same thing that happened with the federal extension plans, is they had tiers. And so after tier 1 expired, then you get a letter saying that you could get tier 2 or tier 3, or you would get a letter saying that, hey, we're done, you're not getting any more tiers. And you would get that letter too.
Okay, we're hopefully going to catch up. John, appreciate the kind of insider's viewpoint on that. All right, everybody else who's online, because there's a lot of people feel really strongly about this, and I get it. But I want to hear from you. Hopefully, we're going to have Representative Rachel Prouty on with us in a few minutes. If she can get away, she's literally on the House floor right now, but she wants to talk to you about this. If she can't make it, then we will talk to you more. We're going to do that either way. I'm Mike Ferguson, in for Annie Frey here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Taken away to the dark side. I want to be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my...
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
Stewart's American Mortgage is home of the bagel loan, and in a time like right now where things are kind of crazy, you might want to scoop up one of those super duper low rates while they last. So here's how you do that. You reach out to him, 314-324-4440. That's Stewie's cell phone. That's not somebody else's number. That's not the office number. That's the number. on Stewie's hip right now, in his pocket, on his phone. 314-324-4440. When you call Stewie, ask him about the bagel loan, and he'll explain how the bagel loan is a way for you to refinance your mortgage right now. If you owe $250,000, if your rate is in the threes, you need to grab this right now. You need to call him at 314-324-4440, and he'll tell you why the bagel loan is so special. I can tell you right now, as somebody who's used it myself, when you do that refi, you don't pay a bunch of fees that every single other lender will charge you for. This makes it a no-brainer. 314-324-4440, stewartsamc.com. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You've probably heard Tom Shane on the radio for years, but have you actually experienced a visit to Shane Company? If you're planning to pop the question on Valentine's Day, we're the destination for you. You just gotta go to the store, or you can go online to create an engagement ring that fits your budget and reflects her personal style. We're talking a massive selection of always natural, always ethically sourced diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, plus a huge assortment of ring settings in every price range. Our team of jewelry consultants will help you find exactly what you're looking for. And you can expect zero pressure because they're all non-commissioned. When you're done collaborating, her engagement ring will look spectacular, like nobody else's ring. She'll get all the compliments, you'll get all the credit. And get this, with their warranty, if anything happens to the ring, they've got you covered for life, for free. Do yourself a favor and get your engagement ring your way, only at Shane Company.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
The Crack Wizard is ready to help you take care of that leaky basement once and for all. Mark Cox here. The experts from The Crack Wizard will give you a quote right over the phone, then give you a lifetime guarantee. For a crack in the wall, give the wizard a call. TheCrackWizard.com.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do. And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight, stop smoking, or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Details at markpatrickseminars.com.
More people are landing on 97.1 FM Talk every day. It's St. Louis's radio destination for information with perspective. 97.1 FM Talk, the place for ideas.
Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice. Cause I speak of the pompatus of love. People talk about me, baby.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Say I'm doing you wrong, doing you wrong.
1228, I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey. We're still hoping to chat with State Representative Rachel Prouty. She is obviously a Democrat from the St. Louis area. She's out of Ferguson, as you probably know. She did tell me up front, she's like, okay, I want to do this. We're on the State House right now. They're I don't know what they're debating, but she said, if I can get away, I'm going to call. So if she does, we're going to go right to her call. And I know she's really trying to get here. So I do appreciate that. So if you're just joining us, let me just give you the 30-second reset of what's happening here. Is you can find this at pretty much all the news outlets right now. The state of Missouri, somewhere in the Department of Labor, when they got all that federal money in for the extended unemployment benefits last year, and I guess a little bit this year, somebody there made a mistake. I know. Take a deep breath. I know you're shocked to hear that somebody in government made a mistake. But about 45,000 Missourians were overpaid what they should have gotten for the unemployment benefits. And the Department of Labor says, hey, look, this is what the state law says. You got to pay that back. And so they've sent people notices. We just talked to one, Kathy, who'd gotten the notice. And now a lot of lawmakers are kind of rushing to go, that's not fair. That's not fair. The government made the mistake. Why are you penalizing the people who didn't do anything wrong? You're going to tell 45,000 people in a pandemic that they got to pay back. On average, it apparently is about $4,000. Some of them went much higher than that. And so that's the question is, if you got this overpayment, should you have to pay it back when it wasn't your fault that you got it? Several lawmakers, Republican and Democrat, rushing to file bills and legislation to put something in place that forgives the overpayment. Now, interestingly, Governor Parson said in a few days ago, when this was first spotted, Governor Parson actually said he thinks people should have to pay it back because it's tax money. There was a mistake, but it was still not your money. So even if lawmakers pass this, I don't know that Governor Parson's going to agree to it. 314-241-9797. Ryan is on the side that says, hey, this is taxpayer money that affects everybody. And if it was overpaid, it's not yours. You got to pay it back. Is that fair to say, Ryan?
I think that's fair to say. I do think that there should be a lot of grace, though, sure. Because, like I said, I don't know that everybody realized it. Because think about you and your situation. If you got a letter from the government saying this is the amount you're going to get, but then every month they were depositing more than that, would you think that the letter was wrong, or would you think that the money was wrong? I would assume that the letter was wrong because usually money talks more than words, right?
Right.
So you would assume, oh, the letter just misquoted what I was going to get. Because you never got any different. It wasn't like all of a sudden your payment went up. You were, as far as I understand, you were getting this the whole time. So I think that there should be a lot of grace for people who probably didn't know. Maybe some people did and just decided to not do anything about it. But most people, I think, probably didn't know that they were being overpaid.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because especially when you watch the news and there's all this debate over extended unemployment benefits, both time and amount. And I do this for a living and I couldn't keep up with it at times to see who was getting more at what times, of the year. So I can see where this would be really, really confusing. Mm-hmm. But again, your bank pays you out. Let's say you go to the ATM and you type in, I want $50 out of the ATM. They make a mistake and give you $100. Guess what? You owe the bank $50.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't your fault.
I do. I want to know if we talk to Representative Rachel Prouty, I kind of want to ask her this. Who is being held responsible for this in the government? Because somebody needs to be accountable for that huge mistake that's costing taxpayers a lot of money. And I don't know who that is. And here's a much bigger issue, of course, too, which is a lot of these agencies and things are not elected people.
Right.
They're agency people, both at the state level and at the federal level. So they generally vote, people you vote for, they're accountable to voters.
Yeah.
People who you don't ever vote for are never accountable to anybody. And that bothers me on a much bigger scale, but it affects this too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's find out what Wayne has to say about this. Hey, Wayne, you are on the air on 97.1 FM Talk. What do you think?
Thank you. Thank you for taking the call. Ryan, I'm 100% behind you on that. Somebody does need to be held accountable. A couple decades ago, I went on unemployment, and it seems to be simpler back then. They told you how much you're going to get. They actually send a check to you. I had one time, they doubled it up, and I called them, and I said, this is not my check. It's got my name on it. I'm going to be sending it back with a letter stating blah, blah, blah. And it went back, and they made the correction, and it got taken care of. I don't want any more than what I'm supposed to get, period. If I know how much I'm supposed to get, then I take that amount. But when it comes to, when they say, the governor said, well, it's the law. That's true. Mm-hmm. That is the law. But look at the amount of millions of dollars as of January of 19. Now, 2 more years have gone by. People buy a car and they don't pay their state taxes to get their license plate. That was $14 million as of January of 19. I've been round and round with all areas of government, and they're all washing their hands with me on it. And if you don't buy if you don't pay your state taxes to get your license plate, then at the end of the year, you're not going to declare, or at the beginning of the year, you don't declare that you actually own the car because it's not in your name. And then you don't pay any more personal property taxes at the end of the year, so they lose out on even more. And nobody seems to care. Everybody says, Wayne, it's just you that's complaining about it. I can't believe I'm the only one complaining about it. But that's the law, too. And they seem to have left it all go by the wayside. Right. So there's a lot more money out there that is to be collected by law, and they pick and choose what they want to do. But I agree with you as far as the thing, somebody needs to be held accountable.
All right. Hey, Wayne, appreciate that, man. There's a lot of people got a lot of, I mean, this is really, when I saw the story, it kind of struck a nerve with me because I see it from both, angles and perspectives. But I mean, there's a lot of people feel really strongly about this.
Yeah. A full phone bank's worth.
Yes. So if you have trouble getting through, just keep trying, keep calling. We'll get to as many perspectives as we can. And I hope I say your name right here. Is it Sil?
Yes.
Sil. Okay. Sil, what do you think? You're on the air.
Well, number one, I do believe that there needs to be accountability. They do need to be able to demonstrate what the amounts were that people should have received compared to what they actually did receive. And secondly, I do think that we will need legislators and other people in the community to get some programs going like they do for collection of student loans. When you get a student loan and you go to work, then you have to repay that loan. How you repay it depends on what your income is. If your income is under a certain level, then they automatically have resources to where you can adjust it, you can defer it, you can have a hardship where you go for a certain number of months without paying anything. They're very a lot of steps that you can go through to minimize the difficulty in repayment. But the importance is that it does need to be repaid because it doesn't just affect only you. This is money that other people are paying in. And like you said, with the example about if it came from the bank and they made a mistake, you would still have to repay it. And so having been through the student loan ordeal for a long time, I just know that with as many people as there are available to be able to work and be trained to do this, the banks need to get open. They need to get down to business. They need to get busy helping people refinance things or pay things or whatever it is. We need to get back to business so that people can get on with their lives and get out of this victim mentality. And the states can start acting like, they don't just have to start running off papers as fast as they can and shoving them in envelopes and mailing them out and doing the same with checks. So that's just my opinion.
Appreciate that, Sil. Of course, I would love if all the states and the localities would say, hey, let's go ahead and let everybody get back to work. Yeah, there's a thought on that. Let's see here. I think we can take one more call. Who should I take here? Katie, what do you think?
It seems like Tom might be the first person that's looking like he is saying don't pay it back.
Okay. Tom, is that correct? You are on the air. What do you think?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, the government did make the mistake. I mean, I know it is taxpayer money. I get it. They shouldn't have been paid the amount. I get that also as well. But we are in the middle of a pandemic. I also, it's like because we kind of ebb and flow with the amount of cases coming in, it's easy to get numb to the fact that we are actually going through something horrible in the entire world. I didn't agree originally when the federal government stepped in and was paying, $600 extra a week on unemployment. we had a guy that we had to lay off at our work. He was making more money than me. I've worked the entire time. I haven't been on unemployment. He was making more money than me, and I was out there working 50 hours a week. So I get that. Also, you know, there is a large amount of people that were on unemployment that weren't on unemployment because of the pandemic. So I was kind of like, they should have kind of targeted that. If you lost your job due to the pandemic, maybe increase it to the amount that you're losing as your salary, but not overpaying all these people. With that being said, they weren't the ones that made the mistake. Everybody's going through hard times due to all of this. And regardless of where, you know, if it was the federal government funding money that was supposed to be coming in, they didn't change the system to take that away from these people, then the federal government, or, you know, unfortunately the state of Missouri is going to have to step in and pay that money back, whether they have to come up with a new plan or increase taxes through something else to help. You know, I mean, I just don't understand everybody saying, oh, these people that are on unemployment are going to have to pay back $4,000. Because I guarantee if I was on unemployment, which I'm not, I wouldn't have been stocking this money away. I'm living off of this money. So where is all this money going to come from for these people?
Yeah, and that's where that's where a lot of the Tom, that's where a lot of the pushback is coming from in the legislature, is just exactly what you just said.
Right, and so if these people have to pay back this money, then you're looking at probably another government program that's going to show up for these people to sign up for to help them pay back the money. I mean, either way, it's going to come from government money. These people, you know, you're putting so many people through more hardships, trying to pay back what they don't have already.
All right, Tom. I get what you're saying. Appreciate it.
That's exactly what I think, that same thing. And it's not a conservative way of thinking. But for me, Tom, I totally agree with what you just said. It's very hard for me not to think about the aspect of these people that are probably getting this income are like, I'm going to put food on the table and pay for the diapers or the formula or the lunches because the kids are staying home and they're not in school anymore. So I have to make these lunches with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard for me not to get in that mindset.
Well, and what about this? I mean, Ryan, you mentioned there needs to be some grace. What if this is something that could be taken back maybe up to a limit, up to $500 off of your tax return if you get one, or or it's applied towards future unemployment. If you qualify for more unemployment, you can get this much, but then a certain amount's deducted from what you could get otherwise.
I mean, all that's fine. There needs to be a common sense, common ground solution that I actually think Missouri will find. I trust that Missouri will kind of come together on this issue because what Katie's saying is true. These are people. It's not just tax money and, we got to pay it back. That's all true. But these are people's lives that even if we said, I still think they should have to pay it back, but maybe we wait till unemployment gets down to a certain level again or something. And then we say, okay, now then it kicks in.
That's interesting.
Now that Missouri is back to level X, whatever that is, then people have to start paying it back and you have so long to do it or whatever.
Smart.
That would be fine with me too.
If only everybody just bought GameStop stock with the extra money, then everybody would have.
And then hold the line.
Hold the line. All right. 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. By the way, Representative Prouty did just message me. She's still on the House floor debating another bill. So she's really trying to do it. I really appreciate her making the effort. But one way or the other, we still got plenty to talk about. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Andy Frey on 97.1 FM Talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 52 years by offering a $52 safety inspection or a $52 diagnostic call. Get in your comfort zone this winter with their heating services. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth and...
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, growing apart, and feeling more like roommates than loving partners, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire is the only FDA-approved sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. There is no mask or hose and no need to sleep in separate rooms. If you are struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Drafty old windows make your home uncomfortable and really drive up energy bills. The solution? Modern, gorgeous Infinity by Marvin fiberglass windows installed by Lakeside, the exclusive Infinity Windows dealer in St. Louis. Custom-fit, energy-efficient Infinity by Marvin windows are 8 times stronger than vinyl. They block the cold and keep your home cozy and bright. Request a free windows consultation from Lakeside Renovation and Design at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. You'll love your home all over again.
I'm Thomas Helbig, founder of the Retirement Advisory Group. When I meet my clients for the first time, many of them have worked over 90,000 hours and have built up a life savings. Their question is, what can I do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? Not only do we set up a strategy to protect your retirement nest egg from market losses, but we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money. You've earned it, and it's my job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call me now for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review, and you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. This book covers everything I teach in my live educational events. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group, has the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles. All makes, models, and price ranges. Plus, every vehicle up to 100,000 miles includes the most comprehensive warranty in the market. Motor Trend certified vehicles powered by Bomarito. Buy a pre-owned vehicle worry-free with peace of mind. The best backed pre-owned vehicles in America are Motor Trend certified vehicles powered by Bomarito. Now at every Bomarito location or 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
97.1 FM Talk is the place for ideas and discussion that's free and fair. Stay connected by downloading the radio.com app. It's all at 971talk.com.
It's not very often that you have one of these controversies, if you will. You know, it's a really cliche way to say it, but it's not very often where you say, okay, there's a right answer and a wrong answer, but depending on how people see the issue, it's not one of those where you're wrong and therefore you have bad character because you're wrong on this or because I disagree with you. Should people have to repay the money? I mean, you know, it's great when you get some extra money you didn't expect. Matter of fact, I drove into the parking lot a little bit ago and I went and grabbed my headphones out of my seat and what flopped out was a $10 bill. And I'm like, sweet. Yeah, I did not expect that.
Cash. I'm rich.
Yes.
I love finding cash. It's a rare occasion.
Exactly. And so I'm like, great. And that truly actually did happen about an hour and a half ago or 2 hours ago, whatever it was that I got here because I did so much of prep work from home. But when somebody sees that they've got money in that account from an unemployment benefit, if it comes in more than you expected, you're probably going, oh, thank God. That's what you were saying, Katie, is okay, now I can, pay a little bit more on that electricity bill because we've all been home, or the water bill because it's 3 times what it used to be, or whatever the case is. And I did hear Congress talking about we were going to get extra anyway. So I think it's really reasonable to think that people saw extra money coming in, but didn't realize there was anything wrong with that because of the news cycle. By the way, I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey. And that's where we are right now. And I do want to hear what you have to say, because what's happening again, if you're just joining us, here's the 15-second reset. State of Missouri overpaid $150 million in unemployment benefits to about 45,000 people. The average overpayment was $4,000. And the Department of Labor in the state says, we want the money back. And so several state lawmakers, both parties, are arguing that it was the government's fault and people are struggling right now. And in order to serve the people, they should not have to pay it back, that the state should just forgive it. Well, we've had a lot of people pointing out, saying, wait a minute, that's not your money to forgive. That's taxpayer money. And we should be using that for something else. So what do you think? Justin, you're going to kick off this segment. What do you think?
Oh, hey, how you doing, Mike?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, so, I mean, it's probably not going to be popular, but I do think that people should have to pay it back because it's not their money.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who, I mean, I get the point where, yes, they may not have known or understood where it was coming from, but for the most part, I would tend to believe that people aren't stupid. They know that they were overpaid, and had they been underpaid, they would have been calling every day until they got the payment that they were owed. But when the shoe is on the other foot, they're expected to just be able to keep the money, especially if it's money that I pay in taxes. I'm not all for a socialist economy. And I feel like that's what it would be.
That's an interesting point. Hey, Justin, appreciate the call. Ryan, that's a pretty fair point. Somebody, if they were shorted, they're going to be emailing or making a phone call pretty fast because, they were told what they were supposed to get. I actually hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, let me throw a wrench in that, though, even though I agree with Justin's point. If you were, I don't know if there were problems like this in Missouri. I remember there were problems like this in Illinois. That's typical, right? Government problems in Illinois, no problems in Missouri.
You said it, I didn't. I was thinking it.
But maybe there were. I mean, there were problems reported all over the country of people trying to get on unemployment. And I think I know a couple of people who, they lost their jobs. They were laid off temporarily, and they were trying to get on unemployment. And it was a nightmare to try to sign up.
Yeah.
If you were in March or April or May. I mean, it was terrible. And some people waited months to ever get it. So A, would you have even noticed it if that happened? And B, if you were being overpaid and you just went through 2 months of fighting to get on the payroll, would you be like, oh, I'm going to go through another 2 months now of trying to tell them they're overpaying me? I mean,
yeah. What about
practically speaking? I don't know.
Let me ask a more primal question. Katie, Ryan, we'll start with you. Then we're going to talk to everybody who was wanting to weigh in on this. And by the way, just ahead, right after the top of the hour here, right after the news, it looks like the Senate is going to go through with this impeachment trial of President Trump. And just ahead, we've got National Review Online contributor DeRoy Murdoch. And he's going to give us his take on that, arguing for a complete acquittal, but we'll do that after the top of the hour. More primal question. Do you have a moral or ethical responsibility to pay it back, even if you desperately need the money and even though it's not your fault that you got it?
Goodness. Yeah, I think that I think definitely ethically, you definitely have that. And I mean, I'm thinking about myself and putting myself in these people's shoes. I would feel like, okay, I wouldn't want anybody else to miss out on their income because of a mistake that happened and I was part of that mistake. I wouldn't want that. Morally, it's just this is really tough for me.
Yeah.
I'm having a really tough time. I keep flip-flopping because everybody's making such great points. But it's really, really tough for me because if I were in a position that I'm like, I can't pay this bill this month because I don't have the unemployment or my job, I would be like, well, is it morally right for me to help myself and my kids and my family? Or is it, I don't know. I have no idea.
Let me ethically throw this into the mix too. On one hand, you'd say on the face of it, if I got overpaid, I got to pay it back. That's the ethically right thing to do.
Yes.
However, in this instance, since it's the government, you could ethically say, this is the money that they've been taking from me for years. So it's actually my money that I'm getting back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the layers.
I don't know which one is
The
right,
layers,
but
yeah.
I tell you what, you can go around
The
and around.
nuance, I mean, like when they sent out the stimulus checks, I remember that first round hit, and my wife Rachel and I, we were like, wait a minute, where did this money come from in this account? And so we looked, we're like, oh, that's the stimulus money, which we didn't get overpaid on. But we were thinking, what a waste for so many people to get this, frankly, including us. But I guess it's better in our hands than the government's hands.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go to Cindy here. Hey, Cindy, you are on the air. What are your thoughts on this?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I work for a school district. I have a little bit of a different issue. Normally, when you work for a school district, you don't qualify for unemployment when you don't work. However, this year, due to the pandemic, the Department of Labor and the Division of Unemployment told us that we were eligible to receive benefits. So when our furlough pay was exhausted, we applied. A bunch of us, probably 150 of us. We were approved. We got benefits. And now, all of a sudden, we're getting these threatening letters. We're going to garnish your wages. You owe us money. You have to pay us back. And it's wrong. We deserve that money. And these people are threatening us. In fact, I was in Jefferson City yesterday, and I talked to Representative Prouty, who is a wonderful person and very helpful. We did nothing wrong. There was no fraud. There was no intent to get any benefits to which we were not entitled. And I don't think we should have to pay back anything.
Okay. Hey, Cindy, appreciate the call. That's and that's where a lot of the perspective is, because it comes down to, did they try? Now, I'm sure there's probably, you can find a couple of, places somewhere where there was fraud. There was this kind of numbers. Somebody went and got their hands on it. But for the most part, the state's not even arguing that anybody did anything dishonest or wrong. They're just saying, whoops, my bad, is basically what they're, technically that's the legal, that's the political term.
Whoopsie.
Well, yeah. So, yeah. All right. So let's say everything. We do one more call here. We think, okay, let's talk to, let's talk to Tom.
Yeah,
different
Tom is a
Tom
good
here.
idea.
Hey, Tom, you're on the air.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, I'm a little fired up about this because I'm a small business owner. Wife and I own a couple small businesses. We didn't qualify for unemployment, PPE, or PPP, any of the rest of it. Here's my take. All right, you want to pay this money back, take it back from the federal and state Senate and Congress people and the unelected bureaucrats. Take it out of their salary, pay back the money that we already put in, and put them in check. So maybe, you know what? They don't screw it up again, because it seems like government just screws it up all the time. So why are we even giving them a pass? People should be in bracelets because of continuing to screw over the hardworking American small business people, middle class that everybody's so concerned about. But they're not. They just want to take our money, and when they, squirrel it away and it's gone, oop, as you said earlier, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
I got to get to the news. I'm running into a hard break. No, I get what you're saying.
Sure.
Really appreciate the call there. It's all about incentives. Why aren't people in government, and there are hardworking people in government, but why does this happen? Well, because often there's no real consequence for what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right, just ahead, we can't avoid the Trump impeachment trial. Should he be convicted? Well, I know what a lot of people around here are going to think.
Have a family member right now that is shopping a car potentially with Cassens, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And you know what? The instance of the reason they found themselves there looking for a car is because they had a really negative experience somewhere else. And this happens a lot. I think especially in this industry, you get jaded and the whole industry kind of gives you that sour taste in your mouth, I want you to try Cassens. Cassens is different. Cassens is located in Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, just 2 miles north on 159 off 270 on the left. And this is a family business. This is a business that has the folks who are there selling these cars have been working there for over a decade, many of them for longer than that. And they've done it the right way. They do it because they want to earn your trust. And they do each and every time. Reach out to Cassens, ask them about their employee pricing sales. It's a great opportunity to get in right now. It's where I've purchased multiple vehicles, including my Chrysler Pacifica that I'm driving right now. And I would love for you to develop that same relationship that I have with them. Visit them online at cassenscan.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk, and in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcast on radio.com. That's radio.com, and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DH Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com.
KFPK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
The president wants to go big. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's the message he's sending to Democrats in Congress, holding an Oval Office meeting with senators today after a private call with House members yesterday.
The $1.9 trillion budget resolution is designed to meet the needs of a country that has been devastated by disease and recession for nearly a year.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer defending a move to pass the COVID relief package without Republican support if need be. President Biden isn't ruling out any changes, but says a $600 billion Republican alternative isn't enough, despite the trillions already spent. Vaccinations now averaging over 1.3 million a day nationwide. And the CDC director says there's increasing evidence schools can reopen safely even if teachers aren't vaccinated yet. That's become a contentious issue in some states with teachers' unions. Republicans in Congress are under pressure over two of their members. One, a focus of internal debate. The other, a freshman lawmaker under fire over comments made before she was elected. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
House Democrats say there will be a vote tomorrow to remove Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene from House committees she sits on.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is totally out of control.
House Democratic Caucus Chair Hakeem Jeffrey says Republican leaders should remove Greene from those committees over years-old social media posts suggesting school shootings were staged and other conspiracy theories. House Republicans are meeting today to discuss Greene and Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Dozens of conservatives are pushing to have her removed from Republican leadership after she voted last month in favor of impeaching former President Trump. Lisa.
Meantime, Jared's Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell has criticized Greene's comments, but some Republicans accuse Democrats of a double standard when it comes to holding lawmakers accountable. America is listening to Fox News.
What do you get when you talk to a Dell Technologies advisor? You get someone who understands there's an art to listening, who's able to hear more than what's being said, and can provide tailored small business solutions that make you feel truly heard.
I understand. Let's get started.
For advice on everything from laptops to the cloud and solutions powered by Intel vPro platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Some big news. Since Election Day, almost 5 million people have downloaded the free Newsmax TV app on their smartphone. You can trust Newsmax TV. Watch it for free anytime. And go to Newsmax.com for breaking news. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Call your operator if they don't carry it. Plus, watch Newsmax on Roku, YouTube, Apple TV, Xumo, TiVo Plus, Pluto, and smart TVs like Samsung and LG. Newsmax is real news for real people. Start watching today.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies with us on this Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures pretty good for this time of year. 49, 50
will do it for the high. Tonight, a rapid increase in clouds. 34 will do it for the overnight low, though. Thursday, windy, gusty winds, and it's wet. Rain spreading in during the early morning hours becomes steady late morning and through the afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Sometimes old ideas aren't good, they're just old. For too long, Missouri officials have operated on the mistaken notion that education should only take place in person in an assigned public school. The pandemic has shown that's not good enough. Reform is needed to give parents choices to get their children the best education available. One great option is education savings accounts, or ESAs. The money the state would normally pay to your child's public school would go into an account that you control. You would be able to access the funds for private school tuition, online learning programs, or other approved uses. You can use that money to tailor your child's education. ESAs would put parents in charge. It's school choice at its best, with money following the student and not buildings. Let's help parents find an education that fits the needs of their child. Learn more in our 2021 Missouri Blueprint. Moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Geis. I tried everything to control my anxiety. Nothing worked. I couldn't sleep. Anxiety paralyzed me. Because my friends bragged about how easy they stopped smoking or lost weight with Mark, I went to Mark Patrick Anxiety Seminar. Now I hear Mark's voice in my head. I really love that. My anxiety is gone. I can sleep. I have patience. I'm not drinking to reduce my anxiety. My life is back. In fact, I'm Supergirl again.
Because of coronavirus, seminar now online live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th. Register now, only $49.99 at markpatrickseminars.com.
Menards has the flooring you need to give your home a fresh look. Check out our great selection of Shaw flooring. Durable laminate flooring can be installed over most floors. Repel Cumberland laminate flooring is water resistant, making it good for any room in your home. Plus, it's available in 3 unique wood grain finishes. It's only $2.19 a square foot now at Menards. Sale prices are good through Saturday, February 13th.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. You know them. They are the carpet cleaners. They will clean wall-to-wall carpeting. They will spot clean in case you or someone did you a favor and spilled something. They will clean those dirty couches after COVID. They will clean your air ducts. They have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 3,000 reviews. People absolutely love them. They have the Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee, making it easy to get what you pay for. Call and ask for the DGS deal this month. 3-room, 0-5, starting at just $119 and a free hallway cleaning. That's a savings of $65 and take $50 off of your air duct cleaning. Schedule your cleaning today by calling 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Make sure you let them know that you heard about it from the Dave Glover Show because you want to get that DGS deal. Again, $119 for 3 big rooms and a free hallway. 314-474-2020, ZeroResSTL.com.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
You can listen to 97.1 on the radio or online with no big tech censorship. Just download the app, stream it online, or say it to your smart speaker. 97.1 FM Talk. Free and fair. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
God, you know, I don't ever want anybody else to be sick, especially Annie. I don't want her to feel bad, but dang it, I love doing this show.
Yes, we love having you here. And thank you so
Glad to
much
hear
for
it.
coming in today.
I mean, seriously, that was a great conversation.
Absolutely.
And I'm messaging back and forth with Representative Prouty, so we may be able to bring this back and talk about it at 2:00 to get her perspective on it, because she's going to agree with a lot of the people who called in. She's going to disagree with a lot of y'all as well. So I think there's a lot more to be said about it. By the way, I'm Mike Ferguson, in for Annie Frey, obviously. And it is just about 10 minutes after 1:00. By the way, if you want to connect with me on social media, Twitter is a good place to start. It's at AVP Radio Show. I've got a weekend program here. It's called American Viewpoints, and that's the title. That's my handle.
It's
so
good
at
stuff.
AVP Radio Show, going to be a really interesting interview posted today on that Twitter account. Should churches be allowed to be reopened, and should churches tell government no if they continue to tell them to either stay closed or you can only have so many people? Because we do have this First Amendment thing, and the Supreme Court's kind of showing where they say on it. So a little bit later this afternoon, if you're connected with me on Twitter at AVP Radio Show, then you'll get that conversation, and love to know what you think about that. All right. So as we head into politics, Senate's going to do it. They're going to have this trial of Donald Trump. I mean, it is what it is. It's there. Joined now by DeRoy Murdoch from, of course, you know him probably from Fox News, and also contributing editor with National Review Online. And DeRoy, but first of all, I think I've interviewed you before, so good to talk to you again. And secondly, I don't know, is there anybody left in politics who practically thinks that this is a good idea, even if you can't stand Donald Trump? Is there anybody who thinks that this is a smart idea to actually go through with this impeachment trial?
Mike, it's great to talk to you. And to answer your question, I can't imagine anybody who is driven by anything other than complete, total Trump derangement syndrome would think there's anything smart about this. The test vote that we had last week on whether or not this is constitutional, that was put forward by Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. Only 5 Republicans went along with Democrats on this. In order to convict President Trump, they would need to get at least 12 more Republicans to get to the 67 vote margin. They need 2/3 plus 1.
Right.
I don't see that happening, especially as since that time, we've learned more and more about the riot evidently being planned and in motion well before President Trump started speaking at the Save America rally on January 6th. So it's a little hard to believe that somehow he triggered, he incited a spontaneous riot, which already had been in the works for anywhere from a day to 5 days, and maybe we're now hearing as early as November 9th. Democrats can't have it both ways, unless you believe these people were psychic and they read President Trump's mind and then figured, okay, that's what he wants, so let's go do this even before he says it, which he never did. And then you've got the actual comments that he said during the rally. He said, I know that you were going to go forth towards Capitol Hill peacefully and patriotically. That doesn't sound like an attack kind of language. And at some point he said, okay, so let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you and God bless America. Again, not very nasty. If there were comments from President Trump's speech that said, go up there, attack these people, kick the doors and whatever, you and me and all of us, everybody hearing our voices right now would have seen that piece of videotape over and over and over ad nauseum. It would be in the news. It would be in commercials. It would probably be on T-shirts and bumper stickers. Late night comedians would use it. It would probably be on coffee mugs. No such comment has come forth, which says to me it wasn't there. And the only evidence that the Democrats have presented, I lay all this out in an article I put out on Newsmax today, if you take a look. They said, the president said, fight like hell. You got to fight like hell for our country. Well, that's really an astonishing concept, that fight like hell is, these are words of incitement. Let's look at some other people who use that term. Chuck Schumer, June 8th, said the Democrats would, quote, fight like hell for police reform. Senator Sherrod Brown, Democrat of Ohio, September 23, he said Democrats would, quote, fight like hell, unquote, against a Brett Kavanaugh-like replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And on December 1, none other than Joe Biden, you heard that name, Joe Biden, said the following: I want to make sure we're going to fight like hell by investing in America first. So the Democrats use this phrase, fight like hell. I, in fact, found 10 different examples of this over the last year. And this is the flimsy Kleenex-like evidence, in quotes, that the Democrats are trying to use to convict President Trump. It's not going to happen. It's a total waste of time. They should drop this garbage and get on to fighting COVID-19 and helping keep this economy rolling forward so people can go back to work, open restaurants, get their kids back in school, and return to something like life before COVID-19.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to that. I mean, one, you got the strategic and the practical, DeRoy, and that has to do with obviously a new president. I don't think there's such a thing as a honeymoon anymore in politics for a new president, but he's got stuff he wants to get done, and he's having some challenges coming to agreements with the Republican 50 seat co-majority, if you will, 50-seat minority, which sounds strange, but that's what it is. And then, so knowing that they don't have the votes, and you're right, they don't have the votes to convict, this strategically just makes no sense whatsoever, and they're still going to push forward with it. Do you anticipate maybe them trying to say, well, let's come to some compromise and censure him? Or would the Democrats be smart to say, well, we started, we're doing it, let's just get this thing over with, take our lumps and move on?
Well, I think they seem totally got their heads down and they're just moving forward on this. And maybe they think this will keep their base happy. Certainly no way to unify the country. I mean, the whole concept behind Joe Biden's presidential campaign was he's going to bring us back to normal, lower the temperature, unify the country, bring us all together, et cetera. And what this is basically a big middle finger wave in the face of 74 million Americans who voted for President Trump. And I'm sure others who maybe didn't, but are wondering, hey, I didn't vote for Trump, but we've got other more important things to do than chase after a man who's, probably sitting around the pool in Palm Beach right now, not bothering anybody. And yet this is what the Democrats want to use to tie up legislative time. You still have members of President Biden's team, either cabinet or sub-cabinet appointees, all sorts of political appointees who need to be confirmed by the Senate. As I say, we've got the economy and COVID-19 and foreign relations and other things with which to address. China's acting up. Russia's monkeying around. We just had a military coup in Burma. The Senate maybe ought to focus on some of those things. But nope, they're gonna chase after Donald J. Trump, which is all that seems to propel the Democrats. So I think they're going to start missing him after this is done. They're not going to be able to do too much else about him. But that's the only thing holding the Democrat caucus together is sheer hatred of Donald J. Trump.
We're talking with DeRoy Murdoch, Fox News contributor and a contributing editor with National Review Online. DeRoy, Mike just said it. It's a co-majority, so it's not quite a minority, although Cocaine Mitch is still there. He's still the minority leader. But he's, it's a weird balance of power where he's not completely out of power, So what do you think his play is here with this impeachment? Is he trying to drag it out because he knows the longer it takes, the more work Democrats can't get done through the Senate?
That's a very good point. There are a couple of ways that the GOP can play this. One is, this is ridiculous, it's unconstitutional, this is absurd, drop it, move on. And the other is, all right, you guys want a trial? Let's have a trial, and let's bring in the witnesses, and let's bring in the evidence, and let's spend days and days presenting proof that what President Trump said was not incendiary. I would do a videotape of, as I say, 10 different examples, should be posted later on today at TrumpTrainNews.com, of Democrats who've used this fight like hell phrase out of Democrats' mouths. So either it's really anodyne and not violent, which case President Trump is off the hook, or it is indeed violent, which case Schumer and Biden and Sherrod Brown and these other people need to be impeached and kicked out of office. It's one or the other. They can't be both. As you say, every day that the Democrats spend on this is one less day they can spend trying to get Nancy Pelosi's agenda past the Senate and onto Joe Biden's desk. So, I mean, if this is what they want to do, and they started it, maybe the GOP ought to say, all right, you want a trial? Let's make it a 3-month trial and just tie up the Senate so Biden's program goes nowhere.
Oh man, that's setting up the stage. What you're describing right there, DeRoy, for gridlock, just sweet gridlock, which
sweet, beautiful gridlock.
Love to see in Washington D.C. You can call it gridlock. I'll refer to it as damage control. But also, I mean, this flies in the face of unity. We're going to heal the country, and this is what President Biden keeps preaching, but at the same time, it's like, well, we don't really need the Republicans to go forward with these agendas if they're not going to do it, whether it's, voting on different members of Congress. But at the same time, I believe me, I want to see the gridlock. I really do. I mean that in the most sincere way possible. At some point, there has to be a functioning government, and I just not sure I see a light at the end of the tunnel for us to even have it. And I guess we're just looking forward to the next elections next year.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do have to, at some point, they have to do something like pass a budget, or the entire government's just going to shut down. And you do have to have some semblance of the federal government to keep the courts open and keep the military paid, if absolutely nothing else. So at some point, they'll have to get their acts together somehow. But if they, in fact, have total gridlock, like you say, a lot of this Green New Deal stuff is probably not going to go anywhere. Cancel culture and woke culture programs are probably not going to go anywhere, and that's good. Now we do have a president now who has signed approximately 4 times as many executive orders as I believe President Trump did, and Biden said during the campaign in September that this isn't a dictatorship. You got to do things with Congress and pass legislation. Well, it doesn't seem to be what he's doing. He's just sitting at his desk and signing decrees. As far as unity goes, I mean, look, he could have done a few things that might have calmed people down a little bit. Like, for example, on the Keystone Pipeline, said, look, we're going to shut it down after 6 months, give people a chance to get their acts together, get retrained, relocate, make sure they get paid. That's still a lot more aggressive than I would like. But to fire these people on day one, almost literally during the inaugural parade, without any notice, without any transition funds, without anything, is just cruel. And then canceling the 1776 Commission to have Biden basically turn his back on the American founding. I mean, these are not the kind of signals that say to people, okay, we're coming together, we're in the middle of the road, we're doing things that will calm down Trump supporters and make them, if not supportive of Biden, at least, shall we say, tolerant of him. It's just been one kick of hot gravel into our eyes after another, one after the next. And I've not seen anything since So Help Me God from Joe Biden that has made me feel any more comfortable as a Trump supporter or any more unified or brought together. It just instead feels kind of like, 1984 on steroids.
And DeRoy, when's the article going up on Newsmax?
Oh, it was posted about noon today.
Okay.
And it's posted right there now. And the headline on the piece is "Lack of Evidence Renders Trump Impeachment 2 a Total Sham." All right, DeRoy, good to talk to you again. Right, yeah, to appreciate you giving us the perspective on that. And of course, we can always look for you at National Review online as well. Good to talk to you guys. Have a great afternoon. All right. Thanks, DeRoy. All right. So let's go from the national maybe to some of the more local. Our good friend Tim Jones coming up. We're going to visit with him just ahead. And a little bit later on today, I really do want to get to this. And I know sometimes we just kind of, we strike a nerve and talk about something really popular. But can we agree that the one person in America that everybody, liberal, conservative, black, white, gay, straight, Cardinals fan, Cubs fan, whatever the divide is, we can all agree on is Dolly Parton?
She's the best. She's the best.
I'll just disagree because I disagree with everything. Her. So
great.
I'll find something to dislike about what you're saying so that we can have a good conversation.
That's what we do here. Exactly. All right. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm boring, so I'm taking my time on my ride. I'm boring, so I'm taking
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Having the right realtor is the difference between selling your home fast and in this crazy market right now at or above asking price, or having it sit on the market. The pictures don't look good. The attention to detail wasn't there. And let's face it, you're not the expert in this cutthroat industry. You need the experts, the people who are going to give you that personal touch that you are going to be so grateful in the end and to say, I couldn't have done it with anybody other than the Bonsheen team. These are the people, Christy and JT, who I've met personally, who are going to work their tails off for you. I'm not talking about everybody else out there. I'm talking about you. You're at the center of this relationship, and they are going to work so hard with such attention to detail with a marketing team that is rallying behind getting you top dollar for your house. If you are looking to list and you haven't done it yet, you got to reach out to the Monsheen team. They've got buyers lined up, ready to buy your house. Reach out to them now at 636-537-8288. 636-537-8288. The number one agents for Berkshire Hathaway Alliance Real Estate since 2005, themonsheenteam.com.
February is for lovers, and you'll love our garage door tune-up price. Just $79.95 in February. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will perform their 26-point tune-up on up to 3 garage doors and openers. The Overhead Door brand is celebrating 100 years, a legacy of greatness. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule your tune-up online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
It's a new year, so step into 2021 painlessly with Foot Healers 2-for-1 Custom Orthotics Special. Visit Foot Healers now and get real orthotics from real doctors for amazing real foot and heel pain relief. It's 2021. Walk the walk you should be walking with help from Foot Healers. Visit foothealers.com today for the details on this 2-for-1 deal and for all your foot care needs. Brentwood, Chesterfield, Creve Coeur, St. Peters, and Shrewsbury. Foot pain, foot care, Foot Healers. Foothealers.com.
Get your Valentine's something special this year, the best version of you. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic today for their $49 Valentine's Day special. Don't let erectile dysfunction stop you. Be the man you know you can be and take action now. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic at 314-828-2600. That's 314-828-2600 and schedule your private consultation for only $49. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Your locally owned CarStar offers high-quality repairs and is an auto body repair industry leader for customer satisfaction ratings. CarStar certified technicians are trained to work on all makes and models and participate in ongoing education programs on the latest vehicle technologies and materials to provide you with the highest quality workmanship to get you back on the road. Ask about CarStar's contact-free services, including touch-free estimates and pickup and delivery options. CarStar, the auto body repair experts.
If you enjoy shopping in a relaxed, no-pressure atmosphere, come visit Coleman's Campers in Hartford, Illinois. Coleman's huge indoor showroom lets you shop in comfort, rain, or shine. Coleman's knowledgeable staff is happy to help you find just the right camper with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. Whether you're trading in or shopping for your first camper, Coleman's has options to fit your taste and budget. You'll be building these memories before you know it. Coleman's Campers in Hartford, Illinois, where customers become friends.
Celebrate your Valentine with a beautiful gift from Shane Company. Our fine jewelry is made so well that we're able to provide a warranty for life for free. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Tune in to Ride at Home with Rich every Saturday from noon to 1 p.m. This Mosby Building Arts Home Show covers topics ranging from design and architecture to remodeling and home maintenance. For answers to all of your home questions, don't miss Ride at Home with Rich, brought to you by Mosby Building Arts.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
DeRoy's always got something spicy to say. I love that.
He does.
I mean, he's just got this real easygoing way of, okay, here's why everybody else is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
A very likable way to say that. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie at 1:28. And, when it comes to obviously all these arguments and debates and everything, on one side, we're worried about fake news. On the other side, they're worried about misinformation. So who should fix that misinformation, of course, is the federal government. And who's got some thoughts on that would be the one and only Mr. Tim Jones.
Another great night for Donald Trump.
No collusion, no obstruction.
This is Armageddon.
I brought you Outlander.
Brought to you by Arrowhead Building Supply.
So, Tim, rumor has it you've been around politics a little bit back in the day.
Might have been. That's the rumor. I'm recovering though.
I actually outed him once on the radio. I'm like, Tim's actually a lawyer. And he's like, recovering.
Recovering attorney and politician, which means there's hope for everyone.
That's right. Tim, good to talk to you again. Okay, so when we talk about and I actually just record on this upcoming week's American Viewpoints, I actually just had a conversation with some folks from Speech First, and it is talking about, okay, we've got fake news that we're worried about on the right and the center right and the far right, and the left is like, no, this is misinformation. And one of the things that we tend to see more on the left is just shut it down. You're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to publish it. You're not allowed to post it. But we have a solution in Washington, D.C. from the ever so brilliant Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right?
Absolutely, Mike. And, it's interesting because people like you and me and Annie and other great communicators at 97.1, along with some of our friends on the left, such as Bill Maher and some famous liberal folks like Jerry Seinfeld, people who make their living off of being able to enjoy and express our thoughts through the First Amendment. We've been sounding the alarm on this for years. And we were, usually dismissed as being people who were, unnecessarily calling attention to ourselves or lighting our hair on fire. Well, lo and behold, Mike, truth is stranger than any fiction we might have dreamed up about this, because AOC was talking about this several weeks ago, the fact that, we really need to have, some kind of, ministry of truth or something. I mean, this is right out of a dystopian novel or movie. And lo and behold, the New York Times, who believes that AOC is the leader of today's Democratic Party, no matter how much the Democrats doth protest about that, they wrote this whole very dark, dismal view, I believe, of the future, and suggested that we need a reality czar enshrined in the federal government that will determine what is the truth and what is not. I mean, unbelievable, Mike. And you're right. It's always, when it comes to the left, it's always, misinformation for thee, but not, for me, but not for thee. They can go ahead and spout their mistruths and misrepresentations and outright lies to the public, but nobody in the national liberal media ever calls them for it. They just kind of look the other way and whistle past the graveyard.
Tim, does it bother you that when things like this come up, they're so ridiculous that you'd think that even people who vote for an Ocasio-Cortez or support her, if they're not in her district, they would hear that and go, okay, look, at some point, these things are, they might be what I want right now, but down the road, they're going to turn on me. If I'm not in the class that they want me to be in, at some point, they're going to turn those things on me. But nobody on the left seems to think about it in those terms beyond the moment that they're in. Doesn't that say something about these representatives, that they're actually representing what these people do want?
Okay, Tim, before you answer that, I'm checking with Facebook fact checkers to make sure the premise of Ryan's question was okay, but go ahead and answer in the meantime there.
Actually, I don't think I can answer because I've just been canceled. Yeah, exactly. So, no, Ryan, it's a great point. And to answer your question, well, rational people would think that way. And again, I'll go back to the fact that there are plenty of very famous liberals, from Alan Dershowitz to Professor Jonathan Turley to Bill Maher to Glenn Greenwald. These are internationally known liberal experts, right? These are classical liberals, but they're not leftists. And that's the distinction that we on the right and those of us on the center right side of the
philosophical spectrum, we need to start pointing out with every single thing that is said and done. Because, Ryan, I do believe there's a lot of people in that Harris Faulkner on the Big Fox, she calls it the juicy middle, right? Where a lot of these elections are decided, independents and moderates in each of the camps. You know, we have our bases, and then we have everybody kind of in that, that big giant middle ground. And if you look at some of the polling and some of the comments that are coming out about Joe Biden and his presidency right now, there is a lot of Biden remorse. In fact, hashtag Biden remorse was trending this week on Twitter. There's a lot of people that have said, I thought I was going to get the Joe Biden of the how many decades do we need to go back? The 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. But I'm not. I'm getting the Joe Biden that is now controlled by the uber authoritarian liberal leftists and not the classical old school liberals. I thought we were going to talk about, we're talking about the working men and women, maybe providing a little more government aid and relief to people through COVID-19, but trillions of dollars of new spending, canceling actual projects for working men and blue collar working men and women in the middle class, like the Keystone XL pipeline. Opening up massive hypocrisy, like opening up our entire southern border to whatever thousands of people through migrant caravans want to come in, but canceling flights from the UK and France and shutting our borders to the Canadians. So the Canadians, the Brits, and the French are no longer welcome in the United States of America. But anybody who might, any illegal alien who might come up through the southern border that we can try to indoctrinate through the Democratic Party surely is. So, I really think that a lot of people are going, oh my goodness, what did we do? When you get rid of the Donald Trump personality and the bombast of the Twitter feed, then all that melts away and you're left with actually the stark reality of policy. And many people are now realizing, holy crap, the last 4 years were actually pretty good for this country in many ways. And what we're seeing now through the first 48 executive actions of the 2-week-old Joe Biden presidency are probably not going to be very good for America moving forward.
Tim, I'm sorry. Facebook fact checker said that both is disputed, lacks context, and is too conservative all at the same time.
Oh, we just lost Tim somehow.
Yeah, no, I don't know how that happened. Okay.
It's probably also hate speech. It's probably also that too,
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. For instance, we were talking in the first hour about this entire debacle over the unemployment overpayments in Missouri. We had people from a variety of perspectives calling in. We're trying to connect with one of our Democratic state lawmakers because she's got a really good perspective on this. Nobody around here is afraid of different opinions. So why is it, do you think, we've got so many on the national, not just media, but also in the government? I mean, some kind of federal ministry of information, that's never gone poorly in world history, has it? I mean, why is it there are so many people that are afraid to even allow someone else to express a thought or opinion at this point?
Well, I think it's because they're afraid of the truth, Mike, because they're so for 4 years straight, the far left has had the useful foil of the Donald Trump personality to point to every day and say, well, we can't do this, that, the other thing because that's racist, that's misogynist, that's nativist, that's xenophobic, right? They were able to just throw out all these epithets instead of actually debating on the policy, right? Because Donald Trump, honestly, with some of his personality, made it that easy for them. But now that you're having to sit here and think about, is canceling a pipeline project that many environmental experts, the honest ones will tell you is actually safer for the environment than trucking oil through container ships or rail or over the ground freight, that's actually safer, that actually has 11,000 jobs. Was that really a good move? When you can't say, well, Donald Trump's racist in response to that, you actually have to address the question I just posed. You need to be able to shut down the other side. So you can't have that policy discussion, talking about whether we should get back into the Iranian nuclear deal, talking about what is Joe Biden's position of his administration on dealing with communist China, which has the second largest economy in the world, and they absolutely want to own us and be the first. Well, those are very difficult, complicated, uncomfortable policy discussions, and the left really does not have the best answers or solutions for them. They're definitely on the center-right side of the aisle, cutting taxes, lower regulation, educational choice, trying to someday balance the federal budget, and having a peace through strength mentality that has served us extremely well from Reagan and down through President Trump. So when you can't beat people, Mike, on the facts or on the policy analysis, well, then you do the next best thing and you just try to cancel culture them.
All right, former Missouri Speaker of the House, Tim Jones, at Speaker Tim Jones on Twitter. Not on Parler anymore, but you know how that goes. But on Twitter, and of course, you can hear him right here on 97.1 FM Talk every Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Tim, good to talk to you again, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, folks, for having me.
All right, you got some thoughts on that? Give me a call, 314-241-9797 and 866-455-9797. And still just ahead. Yeah, we got a lot of really complicated and tough stuff to talk about, really ethical, moral, big questions, but we're going to explain to Ryan why everybody should be able to agree on Dolly Parton.
And I'm going to listen with an open mind and try to find a reason to disagree. I think I found one, by the way. I found one. I found a legitimate one.
Okay. All right. We'll do that just ahead.
Sure, Ryan.
Couldn't get in unless you were fed in. Now you're here and you don't know why. With under skin knees and the
This is the Annie Frey Show.
past the places where you used to learn.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Echoes of angels that won't return. He's everything you
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth and...
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, growing apart, and feeling more like roommates than loving partners, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire is the only FDA-approved sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. There is no mask or hose and no need to sleep in separate rooms. If you are struggling with CPAP, great sleep awaits at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Guys, still looking for a great Valentine gift for your special someone? Then give her the gift of comfort and relaxation this year with Tempting Touch Pajamas, exclusively from Pajamagram.com. Tempting Touch Pajamas will keep her warm and cozy from head to toe, while complimenting her every curve. They're made with micro velvet, a new fabric that's silky smooth and addictively soft. They're irresistible to wear and beg to be touched. She'll slip these on after a long day and start melting away her stress. You'll love them too. Check them out at Pajamagram.com. Best of all, every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging, which means you don't have to wrap a thing. So get her Tempting Touch Pajamas and your free gift packaging today. Just go to Pajamagram.com. It's fast, easy, and delivery by Valentine's Day is guaranteed. That's Pajamagram.com.
Never paint again with Rhino Shield. The time is now to be proactive about your home or business exterior. Stay ahead of the spring and summer rush. Call today before kids' ball games get rolling, school's out, vacations start. Perfect for aluminum, steel, stucco, hardy sidings, and more. Rhino Shield waterproofs and insulates. Deflects 90% of the sun's UV rays. Comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only company used by Disney, HGTV's Curb Appeal, and This Old House Shows. Obviously, we do big things. We coat flat and metal roofs to extend their lives. We've got a superior product and a great reputation. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? If the intent is to do something in 2020, make the vision perfect with Rhino Shield. Call today, 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hello, Marvin Mitchell here from Compass Retirement Solutions. Did you know that the average 3-year CD rate in the area was less than 1%? That's why we are excited to offer you several accounts that are short-term and pay better than bank rates. For example, We currently have a 3-year account paying 2.4% and a 5-year account paying 3.5% per year guaranteed. What a great place for your lazy money. You know, the money that you don't plan to use for the next 3 to 5 years. Now, terms and conditions do apply. So for more information, call 314-373-1598. Again, call 314-373-1598. This is Marvin Mitchell, and we would like to put your lazy money to work for you. Call 314-373-1598.
Guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Rates can change without notice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
The Dave Glover Show.
Also, think about this. They're there for the money.
Yeah.
They're there. Yeah. No one should go into politics for money.
Mm-hmm.
But they all do.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
It's 1:44. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey today. Okay, so we had so many different perspectives call in when we brought up this entire, I don't know, I don't want to say debacle, but this mistake with the unemployment on the Missouri side of the state line. But basically, we've got 45,000 or so Missourians who are now being told, hey, you owe us money, meaning us being the state of Missouri, because we accidentally overpaid you thousands of dollars in some cases. So you've got people who did nothing wrong. They got more money than the formula was supposed to be. A lot of confusion. And now the Department of Labor, and as I understand the governor's position, the governor's saying, well, the law is the law. You got too much. You need to pay it back. So we got lawmakers, both Republican and Democrat, who are saying, no, they didn't do anything wrong. They shouldn't have to pay it back. I'm joined now by State Representative Rachel Prouty from right here in the St. Louis area from Ferguson. And Representative, thank you so much for breaking away. I know it's a really busy day for you on the House floor, but I appreciate the time today. So when you assess this, you've got people getting notices that we're going to, garnish wages. You have to pay it back. I understand the concept that they got more than they were supposed to. So why should we even think about forgiving the overpayment? What's the real core of the debate here?
Sure, and thank you for having me. As I understand it, it wasn't so much that they got more money, like more money per check that they were supposed to get. As I was told, it was that they should not have received payment at all. It doesn't really make a lot of sense because, of course, for those individuals who applied, you were supposed to apply for state unemployment first. And if you didn't apply there, you may have been eligible for the PUA, the pandemic assistance. And if you were denied, you were denied. Well, they didn't deny these folks. It wasn't through fraudulent means. It was for things like, according to the letters we have, and we were able to get our hands on actual letters from actual, tax-paying citizens that said things like you didn't apply for 3 jobs every week, which didn't make a lot of sense because in most places, like in St. Louis County, there weren't 3 jobs open, right? Like there weren't options for you to apply for 3 different jobs. So then you were kicked off, or for miscellaneous reason was one of the letters that I actually referenced yesterday at the committee hearing. To that point, most of the money that individuals will owe back aren't state unemployment funds at all, but rather federal government funds. Federal government has given states permission and discretion to forgive some of those, if not all of those, overpayments, as they're called. So it's not really an overpayment. They are mistaken payments by and large. The federal government has given states permission or discretion to forgive those payments. Missouri just isn't. So in state statute, yes, they have to collect on the amount that is owed to the state of Missouri, but for whatever reason, our state has decided to deploy resources to collect the federal government's money, even though the federal government allows for forgiveness for these individuals.
We're on the phone with Representative Rachel Prouty from Ferguson, state representative. Let me ask you this. If no matter whether there's forgiveness of some of this money, or it's all collected back. Like you said, it's going to cost money to even collect the money back. So
Correct.
Missouri taxpayers and taxpayers in general, since we're talking about federal funds here, are on the hook for a loss here. And so somebody within our government in Missouri messed up. Sure. Are they being held responsible for this? And if so, how?
That's the question, right? That was the question we asked yesterday at the committee hearing. It's interesting, and it's not to slight anyone. I know that we live in interesting times. It's new, uncharted, etc. But when someone makes a six-figure salary, you expect them to be a little bit more creative than we're going to garnish your checks or put liens on your house because of a right. And I urge all of us that work government jobs to keep in mind that every dollar, and we're talking about the taxpayer, let's keep in mind these folks are taxpayers. The people who we are asking to pay this money back, they pay taxes. And for those of us who work in government, every dollar that our neighbors make, a portion of that dollar goes to pay us. So we owe them better than this. Yes, and it hurts the employer as well, because of course they would have to pay more into the unemployment program and et cetera. Look, I'm not sure where the disconnect happened, but certainly it is an error of the government to do this. Now we're talking about taking money out of Missouri's economy. We're not being incentivized for doing so. So that's also a matter. The federal government allows us to forgive the federal government part. Again, state statute says we have to collect on the Missouri part, but I just don't see why we are taking money out of Missouri's economy and sending it back to D.C. The problem that I also have with it is that it took a long time for D.C. to decide to send us money in the first place as far as stimulus is concerned. There are folks who, when these moratoriums raise, are going to be concerned on how they're going to stay in their homes. I'm just not apt and gung-ho to suck money out of our economy to send it back to the federal government. In addition to that, deploying our state resources to do so when there are mechanisms like the IRS or even our own revenue, who, when you file your income tax, instead of they can intercept the income tax rebate, right? Instead of taking money or expecting you to write a check to do, maybe intercept the income tax rebate. But I am just staunchly opposed to taking money out of Missouri's economy and sending it back to federal government unincentivized. So it's not like it's a benefit to Missouri to do this, which was a question. I was the person to ask, and I asked very clearly and distinctly what would be the incentive, besides some, egocentric sense of morality. I just don't understand why we would do that and use our resources in that way.
Okay, so Representative Prouty, let me kind of go to the next natural question then, which is, okay, so what do we do from the state perspective here? The Department of Labor's secretary is saying, well, the law says the law is what the law is. We're supposed to collect it back. So what can or what do you think should be done to deal with the mistake and all these people who are getting these notices right now?
Sure. So there's a little bit of round and round and round going on with, and for those who watched the stream, they saw the questions being asked, like, who can fix this? Is it the legislator's job? Can we file a bill to sort of fix it? Because us having to collect it on the Missouri end of it is in state statute. So obviously when it's in state statute, it is something that us as lawmakers can do. As far as the federal government, they were already quite clear that it's up to the state, which would be between her, I guess, and the governor, who would be her boss, the director's boss, to make that determination as far as using their discretion. So the discretion has already been given, that ability has already been given to the director, I guess, between the director and the governor, to make the determination. As I understand, it can't be a blanket determination. I got word today, maybe 15 minutes before calling into you all, from the legislative liaison, that they're doing it now on a case-by-case basis because it can't be a blanket forgiveness. And so with that being said, if you are an individual who received one of these unemployment overpayment notices, I will urge you to contact the Department of Revenue to file your appeal, so that you can be one of those cases that they forgive the federal portion of what they are saying you owe. Because to be clear, it's not that you were just paid overpayment. And I did speak to the legislative liaison for the disingenuous tone of the notices that residents received. It didn't say that most of what they're claiming you owe comes from the federal government, and the federal government is giving them discretion to forgive it. They made it seem like it was just one entity that you owe this to, and that's not the case. So most of what these folks were, and I'm doing air quotes here, overpaid, comes from the federal government. The federal government has given them discretion to forgive it. Call in to unemployment so that you can do an appeal, so that portion, you can try and have that portion forgiven. Contact your state representative, because, I know that it was said yesterday that folks have sat on the phone trying to get their appeal started, and they've sat on the phone for hours. Contact your state representative, and we'll get through to help you start that process. So that's where we are with it now. But by and large, it seems that the federal government gave the ability to proceed in forgiving the federal portion of it to the state. In this particular instance, it would be the director and the governor, her, and I'm doing air quotes, boss, because technically the taxpayers are all of our bosses. The state portion is a little bit more nuanced, and I believe that requires legislation. And trust me, we are talking about it and we're on it. 3 bills as of now have already been filed to address this issue. And so we hear you, and we are listening, but do contact your state representative.
Representative Rachel Prouty, we're almost out of time here. So really quick question. As we've been debating, should they have to repay it or should they not? It sounds like that's what you're also, in Congress debating right now. Is there a party line split on this? Does it seem to be that Democrats like yourself are saying, we need to forgive it, Republicans are saying, no, you got to repay it, or is it kind of a mix?
It is one of the rare, and Lord bless it, one of the rare times that you're going to see this real bipartisan synergy. All of us, and for those, and I'm what they would call a fiscal conservative Democrat. Yes, we do exist. We are here. But you know what? This is one of those times where we have a lot of bipartisan, almost all that you will talk to are like, look, this was a government mistake. When people are talking about having less government and less government interference, this is exactly what we're talking about. If I owe you $20 and you tell me, hey, Rachel, you don't have to pay me this $20 back, and somebody else says, I'm going to collect this $20 from you because you really do owe him $20, I'm going to look at them like they're crazy, right? I'm tell them mind their business and get out of my face. This is kind of what we have here. And so we're all pretty much on one accord with this. I'm happy to hear it. I know that the Missouri taxpayers who have received this letter will be happy to hear it as well. So there is no party line split. Every one of us in that committee last night were in solidarity with the individuals who are terrified and stressed out about these letters.
All right. The Representative Rachel Prouty, you can find her on Twitter at RC Prouty, which is Proudie. Thank you so much, Representative, for the time and providing some clarification on this, because I know those notices have got to be scaring a lot of people. And I really appreciate you taking the time to tell us about it.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right. Once again, that was State Representative Rachel Prouty, Democrat from Ferguson. So right here in the St. Louis area. All right. Still ahead. Oh, man. Who's getting hit hardest by the government shutdowns? Yeah, you may be surprised.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage tool that leaves you with more time to plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie.
And clean up the popcorn you weren't planning on sharing. At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it. Right now, rates are at a historic low 2.5%. Visit goldenoaklending.com to use Zipline. NMLS 114937, 2.5% fixed, 2.655% APR on a conventional 15-year mortgage with 30% equity and approved credit. 111 Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have you heard about Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis? He's buying houses for cash. Call Chris today at 314-782-7000. Chris will buy your house for cash and pay you cash up front. Chris will buy houses in any price range and any location in St. Louis Metro. Do you own a house that needs thousands of dollars in repair? Great, because he loves fixing up houses. Do you have a tenant living on your property? Not a problem. Chris will buy your house with a tenant in it. Do you think your property will be difficult to sell? Easy. Chris will provide assistance for any situation. Do you want the best price for your house? Done. He'll beat any offer you have on the table. Remember, if you need cash fast, Chris will pay you cash up front. Call Chris today at 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
Mark Cox here. Guys, let Victory Men's Health help you regain your vitality by optimizing your hormones, vitamins, and sexual health. Victory Men's Health has the most cutting-edge technologies to treat ED. They have wave therapy. Listen, this is the biggest advancement for men with ED since the launch of Viagra. That's pretty incredible. They do the treatments in their office. Victory Men's Health offers wave therapy in both their Illinois and Missouri location. Check them out online today at victorymenshealth.com. Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. You know them. They are the carpet cleaners. They will clean wall-to-wall carpeting. They will spot clean in case you or someone did you a favor and spilled something. They will clean those dirty couches after COVID. They will clean your air ducts. They have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 3,000 reviews. People absolutely love them. They have the Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee, making it easy to get what you pay for. Call and ask for the DGS deal this month. 3-room, 0-5, starting at just $119 and a free hallway cleaning. That's a savings of $65 and take $50 off of your air duct cleaning. Schedule your cleaning today by calling 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Make sure you let them know that you heard about it from the Dave Glover Show because you want to get that DGS deal. Again, $119 for 3 big rooms and a free hallway. 314-474-2020.
KFTK FM Florissant. K254CR St. Louis. Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group. 97.1 FM Talk. A radio.com station.
As bipartisan as possible. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's the latest pledge from the White House as talks continue on a COVID relief package, while Democrats push for the president's proposal. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, at the White House briefing, Press Secretary Jen Psaki says Democrats and Republicans have met with the president on the American Rescue Plan and that the priorities to achieve have not changed.
The final package must address the crises facing working families, including housing and food insecurity, and reopening schools.
Psaki also outlined the need to help fund local and state governments. Some Republicans say $360 billion may be too much in the Biden plan. Psaki says the president would welcome GOP input, but the funding there is needed. Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. The president's top COVID advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says feel free to double mask up.
There's nothing wrong with people wearing 2 masks. I often myself wear 2 masks.
But he says at this point, there still isn't enough information to make it a CDC recommendation. Health officials also continue to stress the importance of social distancing, with new cases of COVID still running twice as high as the summer peak. And there is concern that new variants could spur another surge, even as vaccinations accelerate. A point of contention between some states and teachers' unions is whether to vaccinate all teachers before schools can reopen.
The San Francisco Department of Public Health, the California Department of Public Health, and the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention all say schools can reopen safely.
Dennis Herrera is the city attorney in San Francisco, which is now suing its own school district in an effort to force schools to reopen. An hour to the close on Wall Street, stocks turning higher. America is listening to Fox News.
What do you get when you talk to a Dell Technologies advisor? You get someone who understands there's an art to listening, who's able to hear more than what's being said, and can provide tailored small business solutions that make you feel truly heard.
I understand. Let's get started.
For advice on everything from laptops to the cloud and solutions powered by Intel vPro platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Some big news. Since Election Day, almost 5 million people have downloaded the free Newsmax TV app on their smartphone. You can trust Newsmax TV. Watch it for free anytime and go to Newsmax.com for breaking news. Newsmax is on all major cable systems. Call your operator if they don't carry it. Plus, watch Newsmax on Roku, YouTube, Apple TV, Xumo, TiVo Plus, Pluto, and smart TVs like Samsung and LG. Newsmax is real news for real people. Start watching today.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies with us on this Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures pretty good for this time of year. 49, 50 will do it for the high. Tonight, a rapid increase in clouds. 34 will do it for the overnight low, though. Thursday, windy, gusty winds, and it's wet. Rain spreading in during the early morning hours becomes steady late morning and through the afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Every score change during Super Bowl 55, someone wins $50,000 in the Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl Square Sweepstakes. See rules and enter for free at rocketmortgagesquares.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for a brand new sponsor of the show, Legacy Box. If you listen to the show, you know how into my family history I am, and pictures of my great grandparents and videos from when my mom and dad shot reel to reel with my brother and sister going to Florida in the 50s. All of this stuff is deteriorating. You can send it off to Legacy Box. It's super, super simple. I'm in the process of doing it right now. You just put it all into the Legacy Box. You send it off. They digitize it. You can have it stored on the cloud, a thumb drive, a DVD, along with all of your original media that you sent. Of course, you get that back. It's completely safe. It's very affordable, and you're going to be so glad that you did it. So will your kids. So will your grandkids. Go to legacybox.com/Glover right now to take advantage of a 50% offer. This exclusive offer won't last long, so order the kit now and send it in whenever you're ready. That's legacybox.com/Glover for 50% off.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call? Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visits your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all the work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 97.1 for $100 off. Upkeepstl.com. Type in 97.1 to get $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331. Ask about their free maintenance minutes. Keep up your home with Upkeep.
You can listen to 97.1 on radio.com through your smart speaker. It's information with perspective. Just ask it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Dell Technologies. Call 877-ASK-DELL. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Okay, we're just, 20 minutes away from the great debate convincing Ryan why everybody should agree that Dolly Parton is the greatest American. We're going to do it.
You go ahead and try, and I'm going to try to. I don't actually disagree, but I'm going to try to come up with a reason why.
No, you said that you're going to try to disagree.
All right, I'm going to.
All right. We'll get to that. Like I said, we'll do that around 2:25-ish or so. I'm Mike Ferguson in for Annie Frey today. It is 2:07. And obviously, when we are going on now darn near a year into the government shutdowns, into the church shutdowns, into the school shutdowns, we're depending on where you are in the country, it's literally been almost a year at this point. And the devastation isn't just financial. It's also, ripple effect of emotion and mental health and, careers. And it goes on and on and on. But I'm not saying anything that you probably don't already know. But one of the bigger questions now is, before we can decide what to do about it, reopen everything, get government off our back. There's the spoiler. Let's focus for a minute on who's getting hit the hardest on this. Now joined by Orphe Devangi, rather. I'm sorry, Orphe. Sorry about mispronouncing your name. Are from our friends over at the Illinois Policy Institute, and you all looked into this. And at least in Illinois, when you look at who got hit, 2020 job losses. One, it was terrible in Illinois, even compared to other Midwestern states. But specifically, there are some demographics of people that just got kicked in the teeth harder than others.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So first, thanks for having me this afternoon. We saw Illinois lose 423,000 jobs over the course of the year. But the pain and suffering did not fall equally on everyone. February marks Black History Month. And of course, when you look at the data, Black Illinoisans were 53% more likely to lose their jobs than Blacks in other states. Even though they're more college educated, they tend to have more education. They tend to live closer to cities, right? Closer to the Chicago area, which is America's third largest city. And so it's really sad to see that. And so it brings us to question, why is it that Illinois had a worse economic outcomes during the pandemic than other states? And so we wonder why that is. And so we looked at 20 years of data to show basically that there's been huge disinvestment despite high taxes, right? We have the highest property taxes in the country. We faced record income tax hikes, and yet social services and services to families that need it the most have actually gone down across that time period.
Orphe, I'm surprised to hear that. I mean, you'd think if there's more money being taken from the citizens of a state and put into the government, that would mean that there would be more government programs available for the citizens of that state. How does something like that happen? I think I know the answer in Illinois, but in general, how does that happen?
That's right. Traditionally, governments raise taxes in order to provide more and better quality services to citizens. In Illinois, that doesn't happen. In Illinois, very good example of how discouraging that was. In 2011, when we had a record income tax hike, state general assistance actually was eliminated in 2011. Spending on child protection, mental health, state police, college aid for low-income students actually had fallen 32% over the last 2 decades. And so we're not seeing that in Illinois. And the reason we're not seeing that in Illinois is because a larger and larger share of our tax dollars is going to a broken pension system.
So, Orphe, I think my question for you is this an Illinois problem because Illinois has mismanaged its money? Or is this something that you actually see, and maybe you don't look at other states as much, but is this something that you see in other states, that when tax dollars keep increasing from a population, that in theory, you get more out of your government, but you're actually getting less?
Yes, this is true across the board, right? If you take the tax dollars and don't use them productively, right, you're not going to get any value. You're not going to generate any value for taxpayers. In fact, some of our research shows that states that spend more on pensions have seen 8% lower economic growth. In Illinois, that would mean roughly $1,400 less in your pocket per citizen, per resident. And so So the way government spends money is extremely important because we want our government, our public sector, to deliver value for taxpayers. We're definitely not seeing that in Illinois. You have other states that don't even have an income tax hike and are generating more tax revenues simply because their economies grew faster over the last 2 decades. Why is it important to grow, to have a growing economy, to have a robust economy? It's important because when you get to situations like the COVID-19 pandemic, the state should have been able to do more for citizens. It should have been able to transfer more money to businesses that had to shut down due to social distancing and public health concerns. It should have been able to help the unemployed more and all the people who lost their jobs. It should have been able to give tax relief to families that were hurt. And unfortunately, we were completely unprepared for anything, for a recession, let alone a global pandemic. And so many Illinoisans actually suffered.
We're visiting with Orphe Devungi from the Illinois Policy Institute. And, you mentioned, obviously you spelled out, the mistakes Illinois was making prior to all the shutdowns related to COVID-19. But that begs the question in my mind, Orphe, is that once we work our way through COVID-19, and yes, someday we're actually going to do it, hopefully sooner rather than later, if there's mismanagement and there's lousy government, is it going to make that much difference that the actual COVID-19 scare is over if the government is still screwing up its job?
Yeah, that's a very good question. For sure, getting rid of COVID-19, moving past COVID-19 is going to help us help our recovery a little bit. But we can't expect our economy to reverse basically decades of mismanagement, decades of minority families falling behind, further and further behind, just because COVID-19 is gone. It's just not going to happen magically. You're absolutely spot on. There's too much fiscal mismanagement and corruption in Springfield. But there's a solution, right? If we want to change outcomes going forward, we need to have pension reform. And what we mean by pension reform is basically, lowering the growth rate of our pension liability by getting rid of this, cost of living adjustment that's a 3% compounding benefit increase instead of being, having a cost of living adjustment that's actually tied to inflation, right? We have a list of solutions on our website at illinoispolicy.org. But also, we got to get rid of our corruption problem, right? We're one of the most corrupt states in the country. Chicago being the most corrupt city in the country, and that's unfortunate, right? So the more corruption we have, the less economic growth, long-term economic growth we should expect to get. So we got to change that. Hopefully, with a new speaker in Springfield, things are going to change. Hopefully, I'm hopeful that they're paying attention to some of the work that we've produced to get rid of corruption. One of them basically being that revolving door. You got lawmakers that become lobbyists and lobbyists that become lawmakers back to lawmakers almost overnight. That can't happen. It doesn't happen in other states. It shouldn't happen in Illinois. We have to be a little bit more straightforward with our taxpayers and more conscious of the hard work that people put into their work to take care of their families, and their tax dollars should go to things that actually improve their lives and not get wasted.
Orphe, I think that I was talking to somebody from Illinois Policy maybe last week about that very issue that you just brought up, the fact that we have a new Speaker of the House, and I'm an Illinoisan. I'm looking for a silver lining. I'm looking for good news. And you just said it. We have a new Speaker. We don't know much about him. We don't know what his priorities are going to be, but we do know that the previous Speaker had some bad priorities, and he was very corrupt. And is being looked at by the FBI currently, which is why he's not currently the Speaker. What is your hope that the new regime, or at least it looks like a new regime, would focus on first? Is it corruption? Is it spending reform? Are you hopeful that they're going to actually do these things, or is it going to be maybe more of the same?
It's clear that Illinoisans basically are refusing to pay higher taxes, right? So we saw with the progressive income tax on the ballot in November that the Illinoisans are sick and tired income, of higher and higher income taxes that basically get wasted. And so with less of that revenue, coming in, I'm hopeful that they're going to realize that they need to make some adjustments to our pension problem in order to be able to address the needs of the population, right? The population doesn't want more of their money going to overpaid public sector retirees. They want money to go to services, to fire, police protection, to the education system for their kids. And so as long as we have pensions, we're basically starving communities. And so I'm hopeful that when they see that, and when they see how it affects the Black and Hispanic community and low-income households in Illinois, that they're actually going to turn on the side, to be on the side of low-income families instead of rewarding a corrupt pension system.
Orphe, let me wrap up with this. A quick question regarding, I guess, how this is being addressed economically. And we look right now, we're talking about what's happening in Illinois, but part of the Democrats' proposal for a new COVID stimulus plan in Congress is to bail out states like Illinois that couldn't manage their money in the first place at the government level. Is that something that Illinois should hope for? And would that be a good way to reset for the people of Illinois? Or are we just piling on bad money after bad money and not fixing anything?
I mean, it's dangerous. Even the simple idea that we don't even target our stimulus dollars is very dangerous, right? So many families did not lose their jobs, right? So there are families that actually are suffering. There are families that are relying on food pantries and donations. Those families needed help from their government. They had been paying taxes for a long time. They deserve the help. And then there are families that did not need the help because they didn't lose their jobs. And those families actually got a real wage increase, salary increase during the pandemic. And there are dangers. When you do that, there are dangers for inflation. You got too much money chasing very few goods, and so we have this inflationary problem to face in the long run. I'm not sure what the long run is going to be, but how much more stimulus, poorly targeted stimulus, can we really afford? And then your point about money going to states that essentially waste tax dollars, right, is only going to exacerbate that, right? So if you have money going, more money being printed, essentially, to go to things that don't generate enough economic growth, right, then, you don't have the supply. You don't have more goods and services being produced. You have too much cash chasing very few goods, and so you have inflation. And so that's the fear with poorly targeted stimulus and sending money to states like Illinois that are essentially just going to waste it and not yield the results or value for taxpayers.
All right, Orphe, really appreciate the perspective. I've been in Missouri for over 30 years, but I remember in the 70s, 80s, and I'm living in Decatur, and I'm living in Camp Point, and I'm living in Quincy, and we wondered when the corruption was going to stop back then, because a state tradition was throwing the governor in prison. That's just what we kind of did back then. So appreciate your time, and it's illinoispolicy.org. We can find your research into this and all kinds of other things affecting Illinois.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me.
All right. Once again, Orphe Devungi from Illinois Policy Institute. All right. Still ahead here. Dolly Parton is America's greatest American. Mm-hmm. Katie and I are totally in agreement on this.
Absolutely.
I'll give you.
And I have chosen to be hated.
That's right.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why we think that, and I'm going to soften your heart on this, Ryan. It's all.
And it's starting to show.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law puts the pieces together for you that you've probably considered before. Maybe you did an estate plan 20 years ago and things have changed. I mean, your kids have probably grown up, or maybe you've added people to your family. Maybe your kids have gotten married. Maybe you have grandkids. There are an enormous amount of circumstances that could have changed the situation in your life from when you first planned your estate. Or let's just be honest, a lot of us haven't taken the steps that we need to take yet to put these pieces in place for us so that when the time comes, you're protected, your spouse is protected, or your loved ones are protected. Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law is offering free consultations if you call 636-946-7899 if you have no estate planning done, or if you haven't had it looked at in 3 years. You need to have it looked at again, and they'll do that for you for free. Go to the BeckElderLaw.com website. There's a book a call button right there on the top of the website. You can click for a free consultation setup. Again, 636-946-7899, BeckElderLaw.com.
Get your Valentine's something special this year, the best version of you. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic today for their $49 Valentine's Day special. Don't let erectile dysfunction stop you. Be the man you know you can be and take action now. Call the St. Louis Men's Clinic at 314-828-2600. That's 314-828-2600 and schedule your private consultation for only $49. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Geis. I tried everything to control my anxiety. I mean, everything. Nothing worked. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't run my business. Anxiety paralyzed me, aging me terribly. I heard about Mark Patrick anxiety seminars from friends that were successful at Mark Patrick's weight loss and stop smoking seminars. I wasn't skeptical at all because my friends bragged about how easy they stopped smoking with Mark and how easy it was to lose weight. I went to Mark Patrick anxiety seminar, and now I always hear Mark's voice in my head. I really love that. My anxiety is gone. I can sleep. I have patience. My life is back. In fact, I'm Supergirl again. I can't believe I just said that. That's right. That's me. I'm Supergirl. Thank you, Mark Patrick Seminars.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and eliminate unwanted anxiety, stress, negative thinking, even panic attacks. The End Anxiety, Stop Smoking, and Weight Loss with Hypnosis seminars will be Thursday, February 11th, or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online. Live with America's hypnotist, Mark Patrick, in the comfort and safety of your living room. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. It's only February and homes are selling at a record pace. Inventory is super low and demand is at an all-time high. If you're even considering buying a home this year, you need to be working with the experts. Don't miss your shot. Get pre-approved today for your new home with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Times are certainly uncertain. In fact, the return of food shortages is likely. Don't take chances. Make the decision to acquire a dependable supply of long-lasting emergency food. Food that lasts for up to 25 years in storage, ready the moment you need it. There's an old saying, failing to plan means planning to fail. Don't wait for the next crisis. Have a 3-month, 6-month, or even 1-year supply of food on hand. It's easy and affordable. We're My Patriot Supply, America's leader in emergency preparedness. We've served millions of folks like you for over a decade, and our mission is your survival. Our meals are delicious and provide you with 2,000 calories a day. And our kits arrive quickly and discreetly at your doorstep. Visit MyPatriotSupply.com and feast your eyes on the food that could save your life someday. That's MyPatriotSupply.com. Take the pressure off yourself. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and face the future without regrets.
97.1, your continuing home of free speech in St. Louis. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for discussion. The place for ideas.
I have a picture pinned to my wall. An image of you and of me, and we're laughing with love at it all. Look at our life now.
Oh, I'm not going to say anything just yet. This is music for my high school years.
This is Dolly Parton, right?
Yes.
Because if not, then my basis of my argument may be a little skewed.
There you go. Okay, so here's the thing. In this polarized, non-unified country and culture that we're in, imagine somebody saying, ooh, I really don't want that award just because I'm afraid it would divide people and be too political. By the way, I'm Mike Ferguson. It is 2:27. Obviously, I'm in for Annie Frey. Okay, so I think Dolly Parton's philanthropic efforts are well known, from sending books out to like every kid in her state, from literally helping find the vaccine, develop the vaccine for COVID-19. She donated $1 million of her personal money to help pay for that. And all of the things that goes with that. But she was offered the Presidential Medal of Freedom twice by President Trump, and she turned it down. One time, and I'm looking at the one of the news articles on this, and she once, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, I should say, she said the icon did cite non-political reasons for turning it down twice. It wasn't an anti-Trump thing. She's quoted as saying, I couldn't accept it because my husband was ill, and then they asked me again about it, and I wouldn't travel because of COVID. Okay, that makes sense. Well, she confirms that President Biden's camp has reached out to her and said, it's time for you to have the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And now she says, well, I don't think I would do it because then people might think I'm playing politics and then it becomes divisive. And I just don't want to do that to America. And then she goes on and says, I don't even think I deserve it. But her actual quote is, now I feel like if I take it, I'll be doing politics. So I'm not sure. But I don't work for those awards. It'd be nice, but I'm not sure that I even deserve it. But it's a nice compliment for people to think that I might deserve it. So there she is, literally 3 times saying no thank you to the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which
starting to think she doesn't want it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she does a lot of great work, and I like the classic old school country. So there's some Dolly Parton music I like. I'm, not big into the current pop country. I'm a rock and metal guy, as you know. But I say that adds to her legacy as saying, I would turn this down multiple times just because I don't want to upset or divide Americans. That's my point. Ryan, counterpoint. Go.
I think that point is pretty awesome. I just don't like her song "Hold Me Now." No, really though. I don't dislike Dolly Parton. Like, all the things that you're talking about. She's in the news constantly for really good stuff, and she really does. They're almost. It's hard to think of anyone that the left and the right both say, you know what, I like that person. Yeah. It really is. So in that sense, I think she's pretty awesome, and I don't think she's not talented. Here's my real. I'll give you a little side note that I'm going to try to make you guys join me on the dark side, but
never.
I don't technically have any affinity for her as far as an artist, though. So when people talk about loving her, I'm like, that's fine. I love what she's doing, but I'm not in for Dolly as far as her music. I don't dislike it. I don't like it. It's just kind of there. So I chose to be the one who's hated and let you guys love her.
That's great. That works out perfectly for me. I think that she is absolutely wonderful and one of those people that we need more of.
Yes.
We need more people like her, more people like Garth Brooks, who is like, I'm going to go sing at the inauguration, and I don't really care if it's for a Democratic leader or a Republican leader. This is a huge historical day. Let me go ahead and spread some joy and spread some love. And that is what I think at the core of who Dolly is and the core of Garth Brooks. And what people are forgetting is that we are so divided on absolutely everything that now people are willing to sacrifice something huge,
right?
Like the Medal of Freedom, and say, I just don't want to be a part of this cancel culture. I want to say, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want anything to do with it. So I'll take the step back. I'll take that responsibility and just not.
Well, because when you look at cancel culture, and I think, and I like the way that Garth Brooks approached it. I think the only thing Garth Brooks could possibly do better would be to stop writing songs and singing and producing them. But that's just me. Again, I'm a rock and metal
that's
guy.
Fine. Yeah,
but no, with this though, because that cancel culture that you just mentioned, Katie, is like activist, particularly, Black Lives Matter and the social justice warriors and all that. And I'm not trying to make it about them, but they're demanding that people make a statement.
Yeah.
You have to tell us what you think. Basically what they're saying is you have to parrot what we're saying and join our cause. And when somebody says, I'm a singer, I'm an actor, I'm a director, I'm a whatever it is. No, I really don't have to get involved on one side or the other. I can produce something that hopefully everybody can enjoy. I think you're 100% right. We do need that. And while Dolly Parton is kind of doing the, oh, it's nice, but no thanks, not for me. I think she's actually showing some very humble servant leadership in this. And I think that should be a message to other entertainers and business leaders. You don't have to make a statement or take a stand if it's not what you do. Have your personal beliefs. If you want to say something, you got the freedom of speech to do it, but it's okay. And we need to be okay with somebody saying, no, I'm not getting involved with that. I play baseball, I play football, or whatever the case is. Even if we know somebody personally is just, completely in opposition to what we believe, it's okay to still enjoy what they do as far as sports or entertainment or business or literature or whatever the case is. But so many make it hard to do that because they put everything they've got in on one side or the other, and then they get canceled, and then they get in the cultural crossfire.
Yeah, that's true. And since we're talking about Dolly Parton, it's just a random memory. Do you remember? I think it was probably about 6 months ago when the riots were really heating up, and the George Floyd stuff had just happened. This is probably like mid-June.
June, yeah.
Do you remember what Lady Antebellum did? Speaking of country music,
it was so ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
That was one of the dumbest things I had ever heard of. And if you're not sure what we're talking about, the band Lady Antebellum, a talented band. I mean, very, very good vocals, very good harmonies. They said, you know what? The name Antebellum, was connected to the Deep South at a time when, slavery. Antebellum literally means, it comes from the Latin. It means before the war. That's all antebellum means. And they said, so we're going to take the name Antebellum off of this, and we're going to rebrand. We're now just Lady A because we're so woke. So dumb.
Same with the Dixie
And by the
Chicks.
way, there already was an artist named, do you remember this?
Yeah.
There was already an artist named Lady A who then sued Lady Antebellum.
You just put yourself in a
I
pickle.
think won.
Yeah.
And Lady Antebellum for trying to be woke, which, by the way, nobody was complaining about.
Right.
Nobody was going, oh man, there's riots going on in Minnesota. You know what's a problem? Lady Antebellum's name. They chose to do that, and then they just immediately got hit hard by a lawsuit from, by the way, an African-American artist.
Yes.
It wasn't even like they took her name and her career and put it on themselves and then got sued. I mean, what a ridiculous story.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
in light of something like that, talking about Dolly Parton is very refreshing.
Yeah, she's just a straight shooter. And, she was put on the spot, do you believe Black Lives Matter? And she went, of course, and she managed to thread it saying, Black Americans have, a unique place in our society. They've got things that they deal with that other people don't, but all lives matter. And we need to treat Black lives like they matter, just like everybody else's. And I'm paraphrasing what she said, but even like the hard left tried to get mad, and they were like, hey, oh, it's Dolly Parton. She's,
Right.
I mean,
I think you get to a certain age and you just kind of Betty White your way out of anything that would be
But
too important.
I also think too is that like not us three in this room, and probably not many of our listeners, but we put too much stock into these celebrities' opinions anyway.
Thank you.
Like,
Amen.
why are we constantly trying to figure out what side of history these celebrities and these icons, where they want to fall? I don't really care that Taylor Swift is going to come out. I don't know if she is, but if she came out with another album that's completely political,
right?
We're just putting too much faith and too much energy into these people, and then we're making them icons. Then we're making everything that they say so important. And I'm like, Katy Perry, I know you're super political, but your opinion doesn't matter any more or any less than my mom's or my grandma's or Mike Ferguson's. You're just another person with more opinions. So I don't really care what you think. Make another banger hit. That's what I want. Make more good music.
It's easier for me to like, musicians or actors or whatever when I don't know what their political views are. And I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to say they don't have a right to say them just like the rest of us do. But to me, it's a matter of, okay, if your body of work is now going to be political because you made it political, then don't be surprised when you piss off half the country with your political views. That's what happens.
It's gotten to the point where I don't know if you guys do this even subconsciously, but if an artist or somebody you like, actor, musician, whoever, isn't being political on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or outspoken about their politics, you can almost start to assume that they're middle to right.
Yeah.
Because if you're resisting speaking out on issues, that's probably considered to be somewhat conservative now.
Right. I mean, and if I were I can't sing worth crap. I could play baseball. So if I were a professional baseball player, I mean, I'm 49. I'm probably not going to get drafted at this point. Still holding out hope. I made the mistake of watching the Rookie.
You've
recently.
got 4 years of collegiate eligibility left.
That's right. I do absolutely. Yeah. I would not want people paying attention to my political views. I would want them paying attention to what I do on the field and maybe what I do off the field with whatever charitable group that I do. That just makes more sense. And that's something that everybody can come together on.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one of the things. You go to Busch Stadium, which we're going to be allowed to go to Busch Stadium this year. It looks like it doesn't matter if the guy or the gal next to you is a liberal or a conservative or a libertarian or a Green Party member. You still, you're not supposed to high five them this year, but you know what I mean? In spirit, you high five them when Goldie hits a home run, when Wayno strikes somebody out, and we don't care who Goldie or Wayno voted for.
But what's crazy about you saying that, Mike, is that since we have been locked away for the last year, and the only communication that we've had with one another really is technology.
Yeah.
So it seems like all of the things that you just listed, being conservative, libertarian, liberal, those things are extremely important now because you can't escape social media. So all of these things and people's private lives that might not have been told on their Facebook, that's what we're clutching. That's what we depend on, because the last year, that's the only communication we've known.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just crazy now.
Let me try to turn you to the dark side on Dolly real quick before we go here. And not to complain about her personally, but her career, she's done a lot of movies. If you can name 3, I will give up my argument.
Okay, so 9 to 5 is obviously one.
What about just movies or TV shows?
Movies.
And we're not Googling right now.
We're not.
No, you're not.
9 to 5.
But you can't.
You can take this.
9 to 5 was the one that came to mind.
9 to 5
immediately. I don't know if I can think of any others.
See, I think I just won that argument. That of all the things she's done a lot of good things. She hasn't really made a lot of great movies, or ones at least that you would remember.
I don't know. I'm not downgrading my opinion to the woman who sends out thousands of books to children every month because she made a lot of movies.
You want to take it there? Okay. Okay, fine.
Right. Okay, so we've got folks who have thoughts on this. All right, 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Hang on, we're going to get your thoughts on this just ahead. I'm Mike Ferguson, in for Annie Frey.
Pen to my wall, an image of you and of me, and we're laughing with love at it all.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Look at our life now.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
We fuss and we fight and delight in the tears that we cry until dawn.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Get guaranteed hours year-round and up to $25,000 signing bonus and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com. The idea behind Lakeside Renovation and Design is that they are a company, a business that can come in and help you renovate and design the interior, the exterior of your home. And when they do that, their goal is to make sure that if after that project is over, you ever want anything else done on your home again, they are your first call, that you are immediately going to 636-978-5000 to make the call to schedule the next appointment, because they are committed to you, to the work that they do, to making sure that you are fully satisfied. That's why they trust their 100 plus employees with a lifetime workmanship warranty on the work they do in your home. They know they have the very best, and they are willing to back that up. And so many Lakeside Renovation and Design customers have come back again and again and again for projects both small and significantly big. If you're looking for James Hardie siding or infinity window replacement on your home, if you're looking for a kitchen, a bath, a basement remodel, or a home office installed, you got to reach out to Lakeside Renovation and Design and be a part of the Lakeside family. 636-978-5000, online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
What's holding you back from solving your tax problems? If it's cost, know that the longer you wait, the more expensive it'll be. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Tax resolution doesn't have to be expensive, and waiting year after year to resolve your tax problems can be extremely costly. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. So take the first step now and hire a tax resolution attorney to help you. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. But the longer you wait, the more interest and penalties you'll pay. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings. Now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
Olive and 270 at City Place.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds. And we feel great.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online. Live Thursday, February 11th or Saturday, February 13th for the St. Louis area. Details and to register, go to markpatrickseminars.com.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Charmaine Yost. A lot of these small private schools have been open since fall, and the public school unions are all telling us that they need a massive influx of cash in order to pull it off. You and I have been mystified about a lot of things, but I think this one is peak for me.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
I hear the drums echoing tonight, but she hears only whispers of some quiet.
How many different artists have redone this song?
I think tons, but this is my favorite version. This
is Weezer, yeah. So Toto and Postmodern Jukebox, and they've all done versions of the song. All right, I'm Mike Ferguson, in for Annie Fry today. DGS right around the corner. We're talking about why. Oh, by the way, Dolly Parton, you asked the question about the movies. There was one I could not think of, and some of the folks on YouTube and Facebook were like, "Oh, don't forget about this one, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas." That was the one I was trying to think of that I could not remember. So thank you for that. And I didn't realize she was. I guess I'd forgotten she was in Rhinestone.
I don't know that movie. Steel Magnolias was the one I was expecting you to also bring up. which I don't think I've seen that one either, but I know it's pretty famous.
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
never seen or heard of Rhinestone though.
She was on a couple episodes of Hannah Montana, so that was going to be my reference if you would have allowed.
Was
TV
she on
shows.
enough that if you combine them, they'd be feature length?
No.
Okay,
No.
then it doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's make that a strike against Miley Cyrus too, just for fun.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
just
just
go.
do that.
Let's hear what Randy has to say here. Hey, Randy, you're on the air.
How are y'all doing this afternoon?
Pretty good, man. What do you think?
Literally nothing Dolly could do that would cause me to dislike her. The closest thing she's ever done was she did change the name of the Dixie Stampede to just the Stampede because she was afraid the people would be too upset with the inference of the word Dixie in the Dixie Stampede. And then the second closest thing would be making Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone. That was probably about as close as she could have come to.
Fair enough. Fair
don't know
point. Yeah, I guess now that Randy does say that, I guess I do kind of remember that she did rename. That's her restaurant, I think, right?
Oh gosh.
Well, it's like one of those. I can't remember the name of them now, but the jousting restaurants where you have all the
theme.
You have like a
restaurants.
big arena in the middle where they do a show while you eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dinner attraction. Dolly Parton Stampede dinner attraction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was Dixie Stampede, and now it's Stampede.
That must have not happened too long ago because when my kids were about 3, we went to Dixie Stampede. So that must have been within the last couple of years.
I think, it's absolutely in the last couple of years.
Okay. Well, all right. I guess you can critique.
That's PC.
That's PC. Right. You can critique that.
She bent the knee a bit there.
All right. Tim. Hey, Tim, you are on the air. What do you think?
Hi, guys. Well, I love Dolly. I saw her first time she went on Grand.
Oh, I think we just lost Tim. There you are, Tim. Okay, go ahead and start over. We lost you there for a second.
Dolly can do no wrong. The first time I saw her was on the Ryman when she came on with Porter Wagner. The first time I ever remember seeing her actually on TV.
Wow, yeah.
And as far as you were talking about why celebrities and things, it's cult of personality.
Yeah.
For some reason, they think people are good at singing or acting. And you got to remember, entertainers at one time in the worldwide were considered the dregs of society. So somehow they've established this expertise in all things political and social. So I don't understand it. I've been trying to figure it out for a long time, but I don't. People, and if you look at the man on the street interviews, I have 3 millennials. I've got one that's an anarchist. I have one that's a liberal, and one is extremely conservative.
Wow.
You got your hands full.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So
Thanksgiving dinner's got to be a blast.
It sounds like a sitcom.
You betcha. Oh no, my life could be a sitcom. It definitely could. So,
we'll work on making you a catchy theme song.
That's right.
Every time you open the door.
Appreciate guys.
Hey,
but I can't understand the cult of personality issue because these people are good at what they do, but they're not. They have nothing else to offer other than opinion. And you know what most people can say about opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tim, appreciate it.
I will continue. Take care.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, and the weird thing is that so much of the market, the audience demands it of somebody who gets famous. Mm-hmm. They demand that they lead somehow. I mean, for crying out loud, we're even if they do something we agree with, at some point, do we sit back and do we say, do we really want the Kardashians writing public policy?
Well, guess what? Kim K's
right
starting to be.
I mean, and not that I'm glad anybody, gets involved with certain types of criminal justice reform. I think that are overdue. That's the libertarian coming out at me. But I'm thinking, so you're telling me that after all the research and decades of pushing for this, something gets pushed over the finish line because Kim Kardashian, who quote unquote broke the internet with her butt photo.
Yep.
That's who we're looking to for guidance on these things.
Well, it's just a lot of young people who do allow the influencers to do their job, which is to influence. And so I think that's where we're at right now. How do we push away from it? I'm not sure. I think that would be tough because we have internet access. So that's very tough to do.
Okay, who we got here? We got George up next. Hey, George, thanks for calling in. You're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, I'm real disappointed you couldn't remember.
What's that?
Large veggie.
Okay, is that it?
Yep. You couldn't remember the best little whorehouse in Texas?
That's the one I was trying to remember. I couldn't think of the name.
Steel Magnolias. Steel Magnolias is, my God, that's the first. That movie makes you cry.
I think
9 to 5. And I've been I've been watching her for 40 years, and I'll tell you, as far as I'm concerned, she's probably one of the few entertainers that's like Trump. She says she's real. You know, these are wigs and this is makeup and these are false and I'm human, and she's a very, very personable person, I think. And
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, two things, George. I appreciate the call. First of all, I think my mom, if she's listening, would be upset with me for not remembering Steel Magnolias. So I'll take my lumps on that. Absolutely take my lumps on it.
Mhm.
The second thing is George is right about is Dolly Parton just does come across as so authentic and so real, which is funny because the irony there is because so much of her is not real. And she is so open and honest about that. Like, you remember she did a tour. Well, you guys would remember, you're not old enough, but she did a tour with Kenny Rogers back in the day. That was like the big tour, and because they had the hit song Islands in the Stream, and both of them, have such huge hits. And she was doing an interview on this once, and she was talking about, oh yeah, we do our liposuction. Kenny and I are both getting and talking about all the fake stuff on her. Like, we're fighting aging all we can. And Kenny Rogers is like, no, don't say that. No, don't give that away. So she's got all of these artificial things done to her body, but she still comes across as more real than just about everybody in media and in politics right now.
But that's because that's real. That's like you opening up and exposing those things and saying, I have flaws.
Yeah.
And I'd like to fix these flaws.
Well, I used to until I went to the doctor.
Right. That's a very real, relatable thing. Like, we're all trying to hide those parts of ourselves that we don't want people to see. And Dolly's like, yup, I am doing the exact same thing as you.
Has anybody ever been to Dollywood?
No, I never have. No,
I haven't either. But I've heard that it's pretty. In fact, I've heard that Pigeon Forge is pretty much just like Branson, and that Dollywood is, part of that scene. And I've always kind of wanted to go because there are aspects of Branson that I think are really fun.
Yeah, I know that's kind of the guilty pleasure, but I actually don't mind getting down to Branson every once in a while. If you get there at the right time. There are the times like you get on the Strip and you can't move because there are so many people. But I mean, honestly, 3 t-shirts for $10. I mean, come on.
Can't beat
I know.
You can't beat
There's
it.
so much. It's one of those things. It's like, it's almost a guilty pleasure in the other way. Like it's so clean that you feel like a dork saying that you like it instead of being like, oh, I watch Jersey Shore when nobody's watching. But this is like the other direction. Sorry, Kate.
Don't be knocking on Jersey Shore now.
Branson, even in the last 10 years, I think it's come a long way because it used to be pretty schmaltzy, and it still kind of embraces that, but it's moving in the direction that I think is actually pretty fun.
It's one of the only places that I feel is very, very family friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, besides Disney World and Disneyland, I feel like Branson it's one of the only places that's like, bring your family. Let's all have a great time. They're not going to be exposed to anything that you probably don't want them to be exposed to.
And bring the whole family from your kids all the way up to your great-great-grandparents.
Yes.
They're all going to find something that they're going to really
find
enjoy.
Artists that are older than they are. They're playing there.
I think my funniest Branson story is years ago. I went and just took like a day trip down there with a gal that I was dating at the time. And we're leaving and we stopped, like, we're hungry. Let's go to Shoney's. Okay, so remember Shoney's, the big buffet and everything.
Yeah.
And I go to check in Shoney's and they said, would you like the regular seating area or would you like the show? And I said, the show? And she goes, yeah, this is Branson. We have a show. I went, it's Shoney's? And she goes, well, yeah. I'm like, well, hell yeah, I want the
Yeah,
show.
see the show.
They
Let's
built
do it.
this little like 8-inch platform stage in the solarium area. And this guy, I guess, who played Vegas back in like the 50s or 60s, this was the gig that he had at this point. And,
I would love
there
that.
was like an opening video with, with old celebrities, half of them dead, talking about what a great singer and entertainer he is. And then, the hallway that goes down the hallway to where like the kitchen is and everything, they had literally strung two like towels or blankets over a wire. And that's what he burst
This is the
through
best.
to make his big, his big entrance
love it.
into this. And I'm thinking this is one of the greatest things. I bought his $5 cassette tape
Yeah.
just so I could get up there and get my picture taken with a big old grinning thumbs up
Yes.
just for fun. And it truly, I have no regrets to this day, 20 some years later. I don't remember the girlfriend's name, but I remember that night. DGS coming your way right now.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, everybody.
So beat the drum with me. I'm not a man.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage application tool that leaves you with more time to take the dog for a long evening walk. Good dog. Plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie. No, it's my turn. It's not.
Okay, double feature it is. And still have time to clean up